And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to another channel review session here on the YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be doing channel reviews. I've got my screen all set up with my command center here so that we can do these channel reviews in style. Also, I've got camera B set up so that I can read your chats and super chats. For those of you who are tuning in live, we do $20 super chat channel reviews. We will put 5 to 6 minutes on the clock to give you a proper review where we will give you a constructive criticism, a positive critique on something that you're doing well, and actionable advice on something you can change right now and improve your channel. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear and the audio is doing good. I keep tweaking the audio setup just a bit to try to make this all better for you. I also try to tweak making this as fancy as possible. I've got my Elgato screen so that I can look right at you with eyeballs, making eye contact, so that's a little bit better. Once in a while, I will be glancing to my command center here where we have the mod squad. We have all of our wonderful moderators, including Katie Ukulele, Home Rapid Repair, Doug Hewson, and all of the rest. Clover Tack, if he's in the building. So we have everybody set up for the mod squad, and we're going to be using friends over at StreamYard to pop up your channel reviews up here on the screen, and then we'll go into full screen mode for a better channel review experience. So the first one's going to be Chad on the road. We'll get to him here in a very short minute. Just want to do some quick housekeeping real quick. Tonight we're only going to do 10 channel reviews just because it's super late. I'm tired. You're going to be tired. So we're going to make sure that we lock those in. If, however, we end up meeting 10 within the hour, we are going to do a bonus round and open up 5 more channel review slots. Just some quick housekeeping. Make sure you're checking out my book. I believe it's linked in the description of this video. You can find it on Amazon. Create Something Awesome: How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. So make sure you're checking that out. Also, huge shout out to our friends at oneof10.com for sponsoring tonight's channel reviews. You can check them out. Link is in the description. 50% off with code Roberto at checkout. You can also get a 30-day free trial with code AWESOME at checkout. So make sure you're using One of 10. It's the best tool for finding outlier videos that can help you stand out and pop off on YouTube. So without further ado, let's get into the reviews and start with our first super chat of the evening, Mr. Chad on the road. So first of all, I want to compliment you on the branding here. This is a great logo. Your graphic designer did a good job. Love the color scheme for this. Really great design overall. Love the color. Love the orange. It pops. I do want you to extend it because it looks like it's a little short. Maybe it's using some old YouTube standards. Oh, wait, you guys say you're not seeing oh, you're saying there was a delay on seeing the channel pop up? Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Looks like we're trucking along. So right now we have that going on, and I want to say that you should extend the banner so that it fits on all devices and not just mobile. Having those black bars up there doesn't look great. It's a very easy fix to just extend it. It's also okay if it just ends up being the orange going all the way to the left and the white going all the way to the right. So that's not really a big deal or any kind of deal breaker. So just something to think about. It'll look much better on mobile if you do that, Chad. I think your profile pic icon is okay for this. Maybe you could punch in just a little bit more so that we can read chat on the road. Not sure how to play out on mobile. Looks like you have quite a few shorts here. For the YouTube homepage, you can organize this to where it doesn't have to default to shorts right away. That's something you can change in the customization features of YouTube. Let's figure out whether you're more of a videos channel or more of a shorts channel. You've done 114 videos. It says that your video is all about, your channel is all about traveling to interesting places. So it looks like it's more of a vlog type channel. So right off the bat, it just feels like there's not a lot of consistency here, which is fine. It looks like this channel just exists for you to share your experiences. Not sure if you're prioritizing growth or if you just want to have a scrapbook of your life here, but it looks a lot more like this is a scrapbook of your life, the life of Chad on the road. So in terms of building an audience, this one's a little bit more challenging, my friend, because it feels like aside from advice around making better thumbnails, it would end up being me literally to some degree based on what this channel is telling you how to live your life. I have some thoughts on this and what could be done if you're going to be a travel adventure channel on the road, to be honest, and things people would be interested in seeing someone do and seeing someone living vicariously through somebody who travels on the road would be a very interesting thing to watch. However, I'm not 100% sure whether that means, you know, telling you a little bit of living your life this way. Because what I would say is that one of the great things about the Casey Neistat vlogging era, and I see you're giving me permission here, so I'm going to take that permission. I'm going to take the permission. So one of the things here is, if you recall the great Casey Neistat vlogging era of YouTube, one of the more interesting things about it was Casey was living this very enviable life that any of us could want to live and was sharing it with us. Now he did this, living in New York City. You can do this traveling the country or traveling the world, though, and get a similar outcome. Because one, if you do it, though, I do feel like the thumbnails need to be more interesting and adventurous. Primary example is this first scene in the video makes for a better thumbnail than the actual thumbnail you have. Also, I would just pick a default font to use for all of your thumbnails. For all of you who struggle with graphic design and you struggle with fonts, what I'm going to tell all of you is that there are some basic fonts that any creator can use that will always make your videos better. And so the fonts that you could use that will always make your videos better are going to be these are all bold fonts, and I'm going to put them in the chat. Fonts are Poppins, Oswald, all bold, Futura, Open Sans, and Bebes New, all bold. If any of you are struggling with the fonts to use for your content, I'm going to tell you straight up, these are the fonts to use. Poppins bold, Oswald bold. I spelled that wrong. It's Oswald, like Oswald Cobblepot. Futura, Open Sans, Bebis New. Those are the fonts you want to be using to make YouTube thumbnails better. And for most of you, in terms of colors, you're going to want to usually stick to white and use a drop shadow in most cases for the far majority of you. I'm going to tell you another rule for thumbnails. Only 1 to 2 words on a line and only 1 to 3 lines, period, so that we can be scannable and readable. That's an old school rule for those of us who used to make billboards for a living in graphic design. So, and that would be me, obviously. I used to do billboards for a living. So I think that would help you. Chad, you're asking if I would recommend changing existing thumbnails and start creating better ones on the new ones. Priority will always go to new videos, but definitely for these videos, it could not hurt to change the thumbnails, especially the most recent ones. So I would recommend that. Then in terms of a plan for making content, I would consider the most interesting places you could travel to that kind of almost exist in a straight line, or I would even plan to go somewhere for a month and then find the 10 most interesting things you could do in that place in a month. But I would also take some inspiration from my friend Shelby Church. She does a lot of great content. And if I show you like some of her stuff, it's interesting to figure out how much you can do for $100 or $150 or $50 in a place, or a couple $100 in a place. What can you do in a city or town, or in a weekend in a place for under $150? So back during Chelsea's sorry, not Chelsea, Shelby's travel saga. She was doing some interesting content like that. Also seeing like what it's like to be on something like a tiny boathouse or what have you. So she's done a variety of content over her time, but she had like a travel saga. So there was a van life thing, there was glamping, there was you know, stuff with tiny homes, Airbnbs, living on boats. So there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to this lifestyle content and lifestyle vlogging content. So, Chad, you could go on the road and you could actually find places that are like not only just famous tourist locations or things, but also the most off the beaten trail, weird thing that you can do when it comes to a certain spot or location. Um, and again, just there are some things that make for better thumbnails. So that would probably be my advice to you, as well as making short form. Also, I think that doing weird things like, I rode in a Huey Army helicopter. That's kind of cool. So I think finding weird, cool things that are almost too weird to be true would be great and entertaining content for you. So I would take inspiration from Casey Neistat, Shelby Church, but I think it's possible to do these things on a budget. I really do. So that would be my advice for you. Wondering what all of you think about my advice for Chad. Try to live the most interesting life possible, and then the packaging and the thumbnails, do it for themselves. They do everything themselves if you just live the most interesting life possible. Um, I think figuring out the what you can do that's interesting in a town or a city on $150 in a weekend is something a lot of people be interested in. I also think finding something weird to do in that town or in that city, or finding or seeing what the popular tourist experience is like, and then finding a way to turn a normal tourist experience into the extreme. I also think that whenever you're visiting a place, another good series that could do is whenever you visit a place, find the places with the worst reviews and the worst one-star reviews, and then go see them for yourself and make a video about that. And then if you're doing making something on the places, and see if they deserve their one-star review, or if people don't know what they're talking about, that would be fascinating to people. So there you go. Those would be some of my tips. Now, to do a little bit of housekeeping, we have several super chats that we definitely want to get to. And I'm going to read some of these out loud here as well. We've got, oh, wow, we've got Clover Tack. We've got tips for cruisers. Okay, excellent. We've got some folks just supporting. We've got Maggie, the substitute teacher, another great Atlanta creator. Make sure you're supporting her out there. Just another heads up on the fonts for everybody. Those are the fonts if you missed them earlier. These are the fonts you want to use in your YouTube thumbnails. All of you will see your YouTube thumbnails improve if you just use any of these fonts. These are good to go. These are Roberto approved. We've got Investing with Matt, $19.99 super chat. Thank you. We'll make sure we get you in the review queue. Got Eric Bracamontes. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Bracamontes. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Pokemon cards. Yes, we can. We can do that. Your channel is Eric Ember. Excellent. Good name. Good name. We got Nate the lawyer. Nate, big fan of the channel. Big fan of the channel. Love what you're doing, brother. Let's see. Living in Omaha, David Matney. Okay, we'll make sure that we get you for a review as well. We got our friend Dan Courier in the house. great creator educator. It's been a while, Dan. Haven't seen you in a good while. We are happy to welcome you to the mod squad. I'm surprised you're not a moderator already. So let's just go ahead and take care of that now. Welcome, welcome. So there you go. Dan Courier, you have been giving mod powers. Welcome, welcome to the squad. All right. So let's see. We got Malevolent Elephant in the house. Ignata, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Ignata Live, $20 super chat for a review. We can definitely do that. And it looks like we got Jermaine Grant. Super chat reviews are for like the equivalent of whatever orange is in your country, but it ends up being $20, 19.99 US. Jermaine, if we have time, we'll get to you at the very end. But if you go ahead and you make up the difference, we'll get you into the queue. We got our friend over at Consumer Debt Chit Chat telling me not to stay up too late. We'll try. But what we are going to do is we are going to make sure we get all of the channel reviews. Yes, technically T, we're going to do an ATL meetup. First of all, you and me are going to do lunch or dinner when we can, probably the next week or two here. We still got the podcast episode we need to film. And then also, T, I want to talk to you about Creator Economy ATL. As I want to get that going. So I need to talk to you. I need to talk to MTR. I need to talk to lead attorney because we're going to try and see what we can do about getting a Creator Economy ATL group. I already own the domain. So we're going to start our own event series here in Atlanta if we can get it going with Atlanta creators. I think between us, between all of us, we have almost 2 million to 3 million subscribers between the four of us. We could absolutely organize a Creator Economy Atlanta event. So I think we can get it done. So that's the current plan. Yep, Clover, we added you to the mod chat as well. Excellent. Thank you, mods, for finding all the channels so that I can see them a lot more easily. Thank you to everybody for the super chats. Oh, Malevolent Elephant, you're in ATL too? All right, excellent. No, that's great. Let's go ahead and get you added as a mod. Yep. No, all good. Up. There we go. Difference made up. All right. Jermaine Grant, you're in the queue. Mods, you know what to do. You're in the queue, so mods, you know what to do. All taken care of. Really? We got one slot remaining? Yeah, we would technically, because between Jermaine and then between the fact that we got one before we set the goals thing, yep, that would give us one more slot. You're right. Mods, if you can, do me a favor. Take notes of anybody in the chat that's saying that they're an ATL creator. That way I have some leads for people to invite to an ATL creator event, because that would be dope. All right, so. Oh, we got Lolly D's Creations. We got Lolly D's Creations. Okay. That's our 10. That's our 10. Oh, well, now we have a little bit of an overflow queue, but we're happy to have it just because we got J Red Unfiltered. Okay, cool. All right. Let's get this show on the road. I'm going to open up the channel review tracker here. And so thank you, Mod Squad, for the channel review tracker. Appreciate you. God, this makes my life easier. All right. So let's pull up the next one here. Setting the timer on the clock. So we have Ignita Live. I think I pronounced that right. Ignita Live. Um, Ignita Live. Ignita Live. I think I'm pronouncing that right. This reminds me of Ignatius, which is technically the name of Marvin the Martian, but I digress. So, looks like you have the beginnings of a reaction channel. The whole I'm gonna keep it moving forward thing, that in the about section doesn't really tell us anything. So I would just not try to be clever, and I would tell people what you're actually doing, what you're creating content around. You have this whole live thing in your banner, but it doesn't look like you live stream, or at least not anymore. And it looks like you originally might have started in gaming at some point or attempted to, but maybe you pivoted at some point. So in looking at your channel, a couple of things. It's impossible to tell what the channel is supposed to be about by the banner and by the about section. So I would definitely tune that up, make it easy to understand. And then it looks like you're trying to do some version of, you know, reaction content, but also commentary. I would pick one or the other, to be honest with you. So my recommendation is, if I were you, I would honestly just pick commentary and do commentary reactions to social media influencers exclusively. But if you're going to do it, I would study Asmongold, and I would study more Pegasus and upper echelon. And the reason I would study specifically upper echelon, more Pegasus, and Asmongold is, one, I would consider doing live streams and doing the daily live streams, reacting to and sourcing social media influencer headlines. I would focus on social media influencer headlines, and I would focus on probably big internet news, internet drama, and then I would live stream my reactions to those. Then I would clip them. So you could just live stream with Opus Clip or something like that. Then I would clip them, and I would probably try to cover in the live streams maybe 3 to 5 stories a day. Then I would start clipping the 3 to 5 stories a day, doing 15 to 20 minute video segments on them, doing 15 to 20 minute reaction and commentary on 3 to 5 stories. Then that gives you a ton of content fodder. You could post those and clip them. So it's basically almost all done in real time. Only thing you have to do is then make thumbnails for them. I would then go to the thumbnail style for those of either more Pegasus or upper echelon, not heavy lifting if you go the more Pegasus route. So then I would do it more like him. For example, if you look at more Pegasus, um, his thumbnail strategy is very, very simple, but you could do a variant of it. You do not have to copy him. You could just do your own thumbnail style. But if you do a commentary thumbnail style, this will work. Like I said, you could use the clipping strategy of Asmongold, use the thumbnail strategy of more Pegasus. If you want to be more top tier, though, and you have something that is worthwhile in terms of making a higher effort thumbnail for these things, even though it's a lot of them, if that's all the real work, since you're not going to have to do any editing for the most part, then it might be worth it just to make high level thumbnails like upper echelon that are still relatively simple. They don't require the most advanced techniques in the world to make, but they're still really good, really impactful. So I would look to that. And then what I would do is I would just try to be a little bit more high effort in the actual delivery of the commentary itself. So it seems like you're going a little bit more meme or a little bit more goofy. I would say maybe just you can be entertaining, but I would just take it a little bit more seriously, and maybe even more in the Asmongold style. So I would borrow the clipping strategy and maybe the tonality of someone between an Asmongold or a Penguin Zero, and then I would look for the thumbnail abilities of upper echelon or more Pegasus, so you could go from simple to hard there. And then that's what I would probably do, and that could improve this channel, because right now this channel feels all over the place. It feels a little hard to pin it down. But I think for what you want and what gives you a good lifespan, I think that this strategy will work. It's light on the editing, heavier on the thumbnails. You have the talent to do upper echelon style thumbnails based on thumbnails you did. You have a good enough skills for that. So I would kind of try to go more in that direction. And so that's what I think would help you specifically. So hopefully you feel like that was solid advice for you. I think that for the long haul, doing long form live streams with social commentary, one, it will get you the watch time hours for YouTube, the clipping strategy of the individual videos and pumping those out gets you more views, more subscribers, more watch time. Once you get monetized, more money, more ads can be inserted in the 20-minute videos. Plus, by doing 3 to 5 stories a day on the live stream, you get super chats and you get ad revenue for that, plus the ad revenue on the replays. So it all works itself out really well. And that's what I would do. And doing that commentary style and having the live chat up, even like Asmon Gold, use OBS. Um, I think it works out really well. Best part is you could also multi-stream this to Twitch as well. And then for it being commentary, probably Twitch, maybe Kick and Rumble, you could just multi-stream and that would work out for you. So I think it's a solid strategy, honestly. Yep. Late side productions. I'm almost positive we did in a previous stream. I don't know which one you were on, but I'm almost positive we are going to start tracking them even historically. Me and the mods are working on that. We're working on a tracker and a spreadsheet because I'm also going to start doing some data analysis on previous channels, and we're going to kind of do like maybe quarterly look at channels that have been reviewed and check in on their progress and stuff like that and see who's taken advice, who's grown. So we're actually going to start keeping even more track of this than previously. Mods, I also I'm gonna like owe you guys like coffee money for all of your hard work. So I'm gonna owe you guys coffee money. But yeah, we're working on that. We're also gonna start working out some meaningful way of getting timestamps done during these live streams. We're figuring it out. We're figuring out how to take the channel review streams and the streams in general to a new level in 2025. So Lakeside, one, I'm almost positive we did get you if you did a super chat review. I'm almost positive we did get you because we don't leave any channel behind. But we'll look into it. We'll figure it out. But yeah. All right. So it looks like you liked the advice, and it looks like that's gonna work out for you. So fantastic. All right. So hope you guys are really enjoying the stream. Hope you guys have been enjoying it. We will answer questions in super chats if you want to do like those. We'll take anything from $2 to $10 super chat questions and read them out loud on the screen. So that's all good. We also will once in a while check in on the chat as long as we're not too behind on channel reviews. I think we're moving at a good pace. Our next one is going to be living in Omaha, which is David Matney. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that one up. And I think we're mods, do you feel like we're moving at a decent pace? Do you think we're getting them in? Do you feel like we're chugging along here? All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So we started the clock. So we have livinginomaha.com, Nebraska Realty. All right. So we've got Mr. David Matney. So, David, it looks like there's a combination here of building a professional personal brand, which I love that, but it also looks like this is promoting your local direct business. So I think for you, a channel size of 10K probably would make you one of the more prominent real estate agents in Omaha, Nebraska. And so for livinginomaha.com, I think that this is a great idea for you. I love that you have immediately in there buying or selling real estate in Omaha, call or text, and then you have your number and it doesn't cut off. Brilliant. Well done there. Using your profile link for a Calendly to book a chat with you. Excellent work. Great concept for a business channel. Also, Good channel series here. The living in Omaha, then you have the suburbs broken down, and you're covering it by suburbs. Then the real estate market update series, very well done. And then your most popular videos here, just to break things up to show people that you are getting views, buying a home and giving people that advice. Fantastic job. Some good solid views here in many cases, and then selling a home, and then your past live streams. Really good custom homepage layout and good titles and descriptions for these to work on search. Um, you make it very clear what these videos are about. Your thumbnails, my friend, 5 out of 5. Now, I do think your profile picture could be cleaned up, could be sharpened a bit. It looks like you just used background remover BG, so it made it a little blurry here. I would just go back into Canva or something, add some sharpness, add some clarity, and I think that that will make your profile picture there just a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper. I love how sharp and clean everything is in your YouTube thumbnails. In fact, actually, I would prefer that your profile picture be possibly this buyer's remorse cutout of you from the thumbnail. That could be really just funny and clever. And I think that's actually really strong for you. So I really dig that. Your thumbnails are fantastic. Whoever your thumbnail artist is, they're doing a great job. If it's you, great job. Love this. And the chat's loving your thumbnails too. Very well done. Um, so these are most excellent. And I love the organization of your content strategy with regard to the playlist at the front. So I think that that is working for you. I love this 20 things you must know before moving to Omaha. And I'm wondering if there's a way to expand on that idea and to expand on that series. Your most popular videos of all time are why people are fleeing Omaha as fast as they can, which speaks more, I guess, to the sellers. And the same thing for, to some degree, people considering why people regret moving to Omaha. So I love that your top videos are not all negative, though. It's a combination negative and positive videos. So very well done. Very well played, my friend. So we have some good stuff here. Best places to eat in Omaha, Nebraska. I like the idea of expanding on Omaha's best and finding more ways to think about what the best of Omaha represents. And then I love this listicle series on moving to Omaha, 25 essential things to know, 10 things you need to know. I think there are more number combinations that you can use here. 15, 12, 17, 19. People love listicles, and it doesn't matter if you've done them before. Most of the people seeing them will be seeing them for the first time. So I think that also you can expand on these 15 things to do downtown. Could be 15 things to do downtown, 15 best places to eat downtown. There's a lot more that I think you can do when it comes to that. And I love that for you. Um, and so I think that if you look at all the videos you've ever done that have over 5,000 views, a lot of the things that are working for you are the best of series, and also anything associated with money and cost, and but also anything that is a listicle video. Your best format and your best performing formats are listicle videos, as well as negativity bias videos. And I think if you can expand on that in terms of your title strategies, you'll do well. You are doing great with the thumbnails. So the main thing is topic selection. I love this buying versus renting in 2025. I think that covering a few general ideas like this add some credibility to you and just are impactful. So commenting on the current state of real estate and doing real estate commentary as a whole is good for you, but that doesn't need to be an everyday thing. Just making sure you fill up maybe one or two general real estate videos a month could be okay. For an upload cadence for you, I think 2 videos a week is a solid cadence. If you can only do 1 video a week, that's also fine, my friend. You are putting in quality into a lot of these, but I think a 2 video a week cadence would be stronger for you. And also, given your channel is a funnel for your business, it's okay if not every video gets banger views for this type of channel. The best thing for your channel is that you keep up this wonderful branding that you have going on these thumbnails and how gorgeous it looks. It really works for you. Um, and it looks like you've put in a lot of work into having an editor do some really solid work for you. So if it comes down to a quality over quantity thing for you as it represents your business, you could lean a little bit more into the quality with the editor. In terms of potential production value, maybe it's possible to step things up a bit, move off of the headset audio to potentially a podcast microphone. I would recommend potentially the Shure MV6 since it's about $160 and gives you perfect audio comparable to a Joe Rogan microphone. Usually the Shure SM7B or DB is $400 to $500, but I travel with the Shure MV6 and almost no one can tell the difference. $160 USB-C microphone, very powerful. So you could use that for the audio side. But overall, David, well done for livinginomaha.com. And I think you've done a solid job here. I think this is a credit to your business. My primary recommendation for you is possibly a stronger upload cadence, maybe some production upgrades to the audio and video. Potentially, again, just a small nitpick. You might want to get some more dynamic lighting. Potentially, if you're filming from your desk, I'd recommend the Elgato key lights for the desk, combined with the Shure M7, Shure MV6. That would be all you probably need to step up your production for the most part. Better camera is optional for you. For your type of content, it's optional. It's not really what people are coming for, but I do think that a little bit of better lighting, a little bit of better audio still could be great for you. But well done. I love what you've done with this channel. I love how it supports your business. I love the branding. I love the thumbnails. Great job. There's very few things that genuinely impress me more than when a small YouTuber takes thumbnails and packaging seriously, and when a small YouTuber has a genuine business behind their channel. Those things, shortcut to my heart. That and Star Wars and like really good cooking. But yes, small YouTubers bring in big creator energy. Definitely key to my heart, but also good cooking, Star Wars, and nerdy content. Yeah, no problem, David. Happy to do it. Happy to do it, man. So let's see here. Let's check in with the chat for just a little bit. Got a message here from our friend Chad on the road. Thanks so much, Roberto. You've given me some great ideas and inspiration. I knew I could count on you. I like where you were going with your advice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. 2.0 Mommy says, I've never seen anyone ace a channel review on here before. Congrats. Yeah, there are those occasional channels that bring that big creator energy to where there's very little criticism for me to give and it becomes more complimentary. I mean, with what David was doing and the fact that it supports his business, there is a lot that he was doing right. If you have a business, putting the website in the banner, having the phone number, having the Calendly link to book you all in the about section, aces when it comes to supporting a business that's behind your channel. Then the quality that went into the thumbnails. You guys saw the previews and it looks like David's hired an editor. So I couldn't really complain about the quality. All I could do is that when I saw stuff with the headset, I'm like, oh, I know that the audio can be sketchy on headsets. Recommend a podcast microphone. Saw the lighting. I'm like, you could do some better key lighting on your desk if you're filming on your desk. Um, that could be good. I don't really have a problem with his background lighting. His background lighting is pretty solid. Could do with a maybe a potentially a better camera if he really wants to, if he's going to be in the videos. Just because the one thing I noticed is just some of the lens distortion of warping on the bookcase behind there, but it's only noticeable to somebody who is a cinematographer or a photographer for the most part. So that's very minor, but his value proposition isn't the production value, it's the information. So I don't feel like I need to harp on that too much. But in terms of his packaging, it's some of the best packaging we've actually seen on this channel. It was smartly designed to support actual business and real estate. So it's a very professionally done channel. So it's a small channel. It's bringing some big creator energy. I didn't have a lot to complain about or to really critique harshly when it comes to David's channel. So let's see. I think we're moving at a good pace. We're moving to review number 4. We're 40 minutes in, and we're 4 channels in. Just updating with the mods here. Let's see. Going over to our tracker, we're on to Mr. Nate the lawyer. Looking forward to this one, really am. I think this one's going to be really solid. We might literally have someone else who might be capable of acing the reviews here. We'll see. We will see. Oh yeah, we're gonna have another ace here because we actually have YouTube royalty in the house. So let's check out our friend, Mr. Nate the lawyer. So we got our friend here, Nate the lawyer. Again, big fan, big fan. Says this should be fun. You gotta love the branding and attention to detail here. So this is incredible. One big note here and criticism. Nate, you still have the old banner from when YouTube had the channel links on the bottom right-hand side, the overlay. You need to update the banner, my friend, to take care of that. Also, not entirely sure that it's necessary to have all of the social media icons in your banner, but if you did put them in the banner, I don't think they're necessary on mobile because on mobile, you really, really don't necessarily want to take people off of the YouTube channel. So I would consolidate all of those over to the left. The graphic designer in me wants you to take all of the channel link graphics here in the banner for social media and move all the social media links here over to the left, to the left, to the left. So moving to the left, eliminate the arrow button there on the right hand side. It's fine to say turn on channel notifications and subscribe, but you don't need the arrow pointing down because that's no longer where it's located. So that's a little bit outdated. It's a little bit outdated. Now, again, love the graphics otherwise. Love everything here. Consider for your join link for channel members, consider getting a custom link shortener for that. Maybe use Genius Link, for example. That could be helpful just to tighten it up and could help you with just tracking how many people are clicking on that. So that could be good for you. It's great that you are pushing the memberships and you're displaying that. This is also something that larger creators definitely take good advantage of. So very smart move there. And it shows that you're showcasing members. So that's kind of an incentive to become one. You have the videos, so it shows the latest videos, keeps people up to date. You showcase your members only videos, which is great for promoting, getting members to actually want, well, people to become members to want to watch that. Shows that you also update member videos frequently. So very well done, very smart. You show off your most popular videos. That gives you some higher credibility there. Not that you need it, my friend. And then you feature a lot of the lawyers in the community, the LawTube community. So good on you. We see our good friend lead attorney down there, as well as Legal Bites. Definitely a fan of both. And so that the layout and customization for this channel is well done. Remember, I only had a minor criticism on the banner, and that's just because some of those things are out of date. So I think that that would tune it up. Now, let's go into the actual videos here so that we can look at your titles and on your thumbnails. So again, and we look at the strategy as well. So very simple thumbnails, to be honest, but just remember, y'all, you don't need extreme editing to your thumbnails in order for them to be successful. Some simple concepts work really well. For a commentary, reaction, and politics channel and social commentary channel, like what a lot of Nate does, you don't really need extremely edited thumbnails for these, but they do need to be used properly and they need to be used well. And Nate also has some very specific thumbnails that he uses in terms of some of the techniques that he's using to make them effective. So Nate, I like that you did decide to do a channel review. I don't think that you're looking as much for advice. There are some nuggets I do have for you, but what I like about your channel is it's a really good teachable moment for everybody of what to do well and how to do things well. But I do have some thoughts and I do have some advice for you. In your particular case, if it doesn't overwhelm you, I think you could get away with a 2 to 3 video a day upload cadence if it doesn't wreck you. If it doesn't wreck you and your team, I think you could drastically benefit from a 2 to 3 video a day upload cadence. And I don't think it would burn out your audience at all because I think there's enough stuff to cover and I think there's enough demand for what you're doing. And I think that that could work for you. Now, I also have a potential alternative to that crazy level of an upload cadence, by the way. I believe that also, I know that you do streaming. Hear me out. I do think that you could benefit from potentially going with a 1 video a day upload cadence, but a daily streaming show. A daily streaming show that would absolutely crush it and people would schedule their time around it, honestly, or at least a Monday through Friday show. And I think you'd get a lot of super chat support. I think that you've seen how successful that's been for Lead Attorney. I think you've seen that be successful for Anton Daniels with the Millionaire Morning Show. I think a daily streaming show for you could really do numbers and do well. I think with the replays of a daily streaming show, with you doing ads in the replays of those and posting those manually, you could see high CPMs, I'm saying high RPMs of $20 to $30 RPMs, not even CPMs, RPMs on those, and they would get views. I think that it could be phenomenal for you in terms of a new revenue strategy. And I think that if you could manage a daily streaming show and a 1 to 2 video a day upload cadence, I think that that would put you over the top. I think it could literally double to triple the revenue on the channel. I also think it could massively increase subscriber growth. So those are some thoughts I have for you. In terms of Nate's thumbnails, these are super effective thumbnails in a daily reaction and commentary type niche. So I do think that that works. And I think that it's something that for you in particular would work really well. So that's my thought. Um, your topic selection, very strong. Very strong. But I think that what would make up for ones where you don't hit certain thresholds on videos, I think that literally a 2 video a day upload cadence would literally start to double your views, because I don't think that there'd be any negative impact. I think the demand is there because you're getting these views, but so are a lot of other people that cross over with you. So there's a hunger and a demand for it. And so I think you can meet the demand between 2 videos a day as an upload cadence and a daily live stream, or a Monday through Friday live stream, more reasonable, Monday through Friday live stream. So I think that if you do this and if you get it just right, I think you triple the revenue on the channel monthly over a period of time, mind you. I think you end up tripling the revenue. So hopefully you find that helpful. Remember, guys, that sometimes I'm going to have a strategy that might feel extreme, let's say. What was it Palpatine used to say? What was it that what was it Emperor Palpatine used to say? The dark side is a path to many abilities some would consider unnatural. So yeah, my methods, my strategies, some of them might seem unconventional. What does it Count Dooku used to say? Stop using the standard attacks. Use the unorthodox. So yeah, I'll use unorthodox methods. And a lot of people will go quality over quantity. That's not true in every niche in YouTube. That's not true in every genre of YouTube. That's not true for every audience of YouTube. There's a supply and demand curve of YouTube. And I find that when it comes to things like social commentary, politics, and news, oh, it's quantity. If you don't believe me, just look at the 24-hour news cycle. So there you go. So Nate, hopefully you found that extremely helpful. I think it increases your revenue if you go the way that I'm talking about. I think you've seen enough evidence from people we both know that this strategy could drastically increase your revenue. I think that there could be a component for there are channels that do benefit from going volume and value. There are channels that benefit from quality over quantity, but then there are channels that benefit from value first and volume of that value. And I think that commentary, politics, news, I think that in some cases, educational content in certain niches like personal finance, for example, and also to a degree, even home improvement benefit from quantity. I just think that the baseline of quality has to be the baseline. So I think you have to understand what would normalize the quality, would be acceptable threshold of quality for your niche, and then churn that at a high output. And there you go. If you don't believe me, just remember, reality TV cut its cost, didn't have the highest quality in the world, and ended up beating everybody else in views. And thus the reality TV model became embraced because scripted content that was higher quality, spectacle, stunts, special effects. What are we on? Season 19 of The Bachelor? So just keep that in mind. I mean, Grape Tea News is here, and she can tell you that quantity, brute force, absolutely got her channel to high heights, and also drove up revenue. So those things are very real. So just keep that in mind. Looks like our channel review slots are filled. So we're going to put up our banner letting people know that those are closed. If we get to a point to where I finish the remainder of the ones we have, and guys, make sure that you do throw in there, because we'll cover it for this week. Where do we have it? Give me a second. If we can, we'll get to more of them, but do throw in, if you haven't already, um, throw in Jay and throw in Ask Papa into the queue. Throw them into the queue. Mods, because I will probably just go ahead and do those tonight as my overflow. instead of getting to them next week, because I think I can manage it. I think we're on track for me to manage it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, mods. Appreciate you. So let's go ahead and move on to Mr. Eric Ember. So, Mr. Eric Ember, I love this banner, by the way. I think that's dope. I love the profile pic. So, I am digging that. You got 71 videos, 347 subscribers. You're vibing with Pokemon. They call you Ember because your content is fire. If you're going to be clever with your about section, this is definitely the way to do it. So, I dig that. You might want to customize the homepage because YouTube, left to its own devices, will default to shorts. If you don't want it to do that, then you need to customize the homepage on your own in the settings section of YouTube, because otherwise it'll just do shorts and then videos. So you want to definitely make sure you do that. Looks like you haven't live streamed in over a year. Depending on how you're going about content, and we're about to find out, could be worth it to try to stream a little bit more. Let's see what we got going on here. It looks like you do pack openings. I recommend you study a lot more of the thumbnail strategy and the storytelling strategy of my friend Pat Flynn from Deep Pocket Monster. So Pat has one of the fastest growing Pokemon YouTube channels of all time. Might actually be the fastest growing Pokemon YouTube channel of all time, actually. And there's another creator that was one of my earliest coaching clients you might be familiar with. I actually wrote about him in my book, Create Something Awesome, Leon Hart. So for thumbnail standards, I would look at Deep Pocket Monster, and I would look at Leon Hart. Your thumbnails are not necessarily the farthest off from them in terms of quality to some degree. The photos of you and your reactions are close. There are some things that can be photoshopped a little bit better. I would make these photos of you a little bit sharper. They look a little soft. And I think the reason they look a little soft is probably whatever you did to remove yourself from the background, soften them up a little bit. But I would just go back and manually sharpen them. Maybe learn a little bit of Photoshop. If you're using Canva, use Photoshop. Learn a little bit more Photoshop just because you'll have more options to sharpen that up. Just like I did for my thumbnail tonight, you want to sharpen up around the eyes, nose, and mouth. Usually some aspects of the hair as well in terms of details. So learning a little photo retouching goes a long way. Even just practicing for a couple hours on the weekend with photo retouching drastically improve your abilities. So there's that. Hovering over this and seeing the production value, what I would do is I would actually try to get to production that lets you do a little bit more cutting and multicam instead of filming these more like live stream and green screen. I would actually try to do the unpacks, the packs a little bit more like what you see from Super Unlucky, Leon Hart, and Deep Pocket Monster, just because that will represent, you know, the highest quality when it comes to that. Also, I see you got Illustrals from or at least I thought I saw it. No, that's Astral. Okay, I thought for a minute I thought that was Illustrals from my friend Dan A Drive. Um, but yeah, I would recommend for these pack opening videos specifically, trying to do everything possible to get that standard of what is done over on Deep Pocket Monster, and also what we see over on Leon Hart and Super Unlucky, because that's what people are looking for as far as that. Same thing with the quality of the thumbnails. This recent one is actually a lot closer in terms of that quality. The font choices aren't terrible. These overall, though, I don't understand the point of using a sky as the background. Um, but also make sure you're just doing more separation from the background so that things pop a little bit more. When it comes to your most popular videos, it's very clear that people like the grading videos a lot. So obviously you want to start doing more of them if you can. I understand there are limitations to that, but also, like I said, the one of the channels to learn from here is my friend and one of my earliest clients, Leon Hart, and his content, because your stuff is not far off in terms of the thumbnails. It's just things are a little, you can make things a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper if you do it more like what Leon's doing, and you can see why. So I would take a little bit more inspiration in the thumbnails there. And then of course there's Pat with Deep Pocket Monster. And then I think you can learn a lot from their shorts channel as well. So in terms of approaching shorts, and see what I mean about making your face sharper, and then also making the background a little bit more something that can be separated from you. So just consider how storytelling in a thumbnail works, but also how sharpness and contrast and color work here. So if we see these, this is what the top of your niche looks like. The only thing holding you back from making these kind of thumbnails is practicing your photography skills and practicing your Photoshop skills. If you literally just practice your photography in Photoshop, it takes you from this to something much closer to this, and you can see the role that that could play in you getting more views. So just bring that big creator energy, even though you're a small channel, and improve your thumbnails, and you will go far. It is impressive that as it is, you have videos with more views than you have subscribers. So just see what can be done to take that to the next level. And then even in every other aspect of your videos, remember, Pat's videos, even for all things considered, and you might think, oh, I don't have as much money, I don't have as this. The videos that are really at his desk where they're still just doing packs and stuff like that are still done very simplistically in some ways. So just the back and forth between the camera and the cards, it can be done. It just requires a little bit more planning. It might require a little bit extra effort, but viewers appreciate that little bit of extra effort sometimes. So there is a way to get some of this stuff done, and there's inspiration to take here. Don't copy anyone, but take inspiration. Use other creators to help you improve your standards when it comes to your content. And so if you don't say, oh, well, I'm a small creator, I can't do that, and you just set higher standards, bring big creator energy, you would be shocked at what can happen. So hopefully that helps. So there we go. Do you guys feel like that was good advice for Mr. Eric Ember? Let me know in the comments. So in the comments, in the chat, let me know if you felt like that was good advice for Mr. Eric Ember. And we got Ask Papa has just became a supporter of the channel. So appreciate you. Thanks so much for the support. Always good to have another member. Yep. Here in solid review. Yeah, I think Eric has a lot of potential. I think he has a lot of potential. Pokemon niche still growing, still something people really care about. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Fiberific? Fiberific, at some point, DM me and I'll get you and some of the other mods. If any of the mods are not in the chat on x.com that we have set up, let me know, DM me, and I will try and get you. Oh, Chantel. Okay, great. You're in the chat. Great. Fantastic. Thank you, Katie, for holding all of that down. Appreciate you. I have like the best mods, I swear to you. And now we're more organized than ever. Like the stream's gonna be great. We have it more organized than ever. StreamYard's even looking at potential update to be able to put like a chat somewhat transparently on the screen, which in our case will probably just go to the right-hand side here. Well, for me, what represents the right-hand side, for you guys, I don't know if it represents the right or the left. I don't know how the replay is working out, but yeah. So I mean, that could be great. For me, it's still the right-hand side, so I don't know. But the well, on the screen it'd be over here, I guess. It'd be the left-hand side. I don't know. Something like that. But anyway, we'll have a on-screen chat at some point from StreamYard apparently. I can't swear to it. I don't have contact with them like that anymore, but it's like maybe we have it before the end of the year. So that could be really cool. That could look a lot more like OBS or Streamlabs or what have you. So that could be really dope to just have that on screen. So we'll have that soon. We had thank you, Motivation Theory, for gifting a channel membership. That's dope. Still figuring out how the gifted memberships work, but appreciate you. Josh Universe, what's up? Roberto, would it be doable to blend the creepypasta niche with the indie game development niche by discussing the spooky lore of my Graham Dev vlogs? If you're going to do it, Noctalin's Campfire, I would just do them via live streams for the people who really care about them. That way you're not messing with the channel as a whole. Yeah, Grape Tea News is killing it. 107 subscribers, 5 to 7 uploads every day, go live every day, done it 320 days consecutively. That's brute force. I'm telling you, brute force still works to some degree. There are channels who succeed with it. Grape Tea News has succeeded with brute force. I know everyone like, oh, quality over quantity. It doesn't always necessarily work. Sometimes you can brute force your way to success. I am telling you, there are people doing it out here in these YouTube streets every day. Every day there are people. Again, there's no one way to approach YouTube. Some people swear that's quality over quantity. Not for every single niche. There are niches where it really is about the brute force strategy and where it benefits you and where it's more profitable to use the brute force strategy. I'm not telling you that all of you should do it or be daily content creators. I'm not telling all of you, despite all the money in it, that you should go into politics and commentary and celebrity gossip or any of those, even though they are really profitable right now. I'm not saying that. I am saying that, you know, there is nuance to advice, and there are some niches where there are just different opportunities and different methods that would work that might be a little bit more unorthodox compared to spectacle entertainment YouTubers who grew up watching PewDiePie and admire PewDiePie or something like that, or now grew up watching Mr. Beast. So it just is what it is. There are different strategies and methods. Yep. All right. So next up, we have investing with Matt. So we got personal finance channel. Love it. Let's go. Let's see it. Oh, I love the color here. This is great. So money and investing simplified with Matt. Love it. Investing with Matt. 5.27 subscribers, 187 videos. Funny story, Mr. Beast had to make over 780 videos and didn't even break 1,000 subscribers with his first 100 videos. He made 460 videos to get to 10,000 subscribers. So Matt is off to a great start since his channel is doing better at 187 videos than Mr. Beast did. So well done to Matt. Very nice thumbnails, very clean. No financial gimmicks or get rich quick schemes, just personal finance education. Love it. That can actually help you learn to build wealth and crush debt. So love that value proposition. Love that in your about section. Love this profile pic. Well done, clean. We like that. Love that. I like how sharp, clean, and straightforward these thumbnails are. The views are not bad, in my opinion, for a channel of this size, given the subject matter. And it does feel like the videos are evergreen, so they don't need to pop off right away. When they have time to cook, they get more views. Some are doing better than others. Um, for this 21 reasons young people are broke, consider A/B testing the title 21 Reasons Gen Z is broke. Must watch. Maybe try that. Instead of young people, be more specific in many cases. And in this case, instead of young people, just use Gen Z. And when you want to give advice to people that are currently in or approaching their 20s, just specifically call out Gen Z in the title. So there's that. For those of you in the chat right now, by the way, channel reviews are currently closed. We're closed up. If I get through the remaining ones we have on deck, we'll see if I have room in my stamina for 2 or 3 more. But if not, we will just get you next week. So you got to subscribe, hit notifications, tune in next week. So I don't really have a negative opinion of your thumbnails. I think that this simplistic style of thumbnails can work and does work really, really well. I think that certain things that might benefit you is there are certain types of accounts and there are also certain um, government policies that apply to finance, savings, and taxes that are going to be hyper relevant to people. There always are right after an election that you could tap into that could still be evergreen content. So I do feel like that's valid. I also think that even though you did this collection of scams that will ruin your financial freedom, I think this should be even more visceral. It should be exposing 7 money scams that will ruin your finances. So change this title from 2 weeks ago to exposing 7 money scams that will ruin your finances. And that would be a stronger, much, much more aggressive title. So I think that that one would definitely be much more powerful. Exposing is going to be more visceral, more emotional, and it's going to be also creating a curiosity loop. I also think you should consider getting into the individual 7 scams for future videos and make a mini series out of it. So that's something that you should consider. For this title, if you have $100 in the bank, do this. I would say change this title to if you're broke and have less than $100 in the bank, do this now. That would be more impactful because there's an identity play. If you're broke, do this. So that's the more powerful title, the more compelling title. Remember that our belief around titles is that you want to use concise language, you want to leverage psychology, you want to identify with the viewer, you want to compel emotion, you want to use keywords, and then you want to leverage status or social proof. That is what we call the clicks method in Awesome Creator Academy. So that's what I tend to teach people. If you guys want more info on what I do, you can check out awesomecreatoracademy.com. But I love this one with credit score by age. I think there's more ways to expand on this idea of doing content by age. So I think you should look more into it. Credit score by age, net worth by age, income by age, median income by age, things like that. Percentage of homeowners or number of homeowners, something to that degree. I think that'd be helpful. Savings by age. People like to try to see if they are, assets by age. Good one. So like people like to see kind of where they stand. In terms of your most popular content, I think some of these things that really come down to, frankly, adulting 101 in terms of some basic things. Telling people how to open certain types of accounts. Know this before you open. You have this know this before you open a high yield savings account. I don't know that you have a know this before you open a Roth IRA. Know this before you open a traditional IRA. Know this before you open a retirement account. Know this before you open an investing account. Know this before you open a PayPal account. Know this before you open a Stripe account. I think if you literally walk backward from the idea that most adults don't know how to do anything when it comes to money, and you make a series around know this before you do blank, that could be incredibly helpful to a lot of people, and I think it would get a lot of views. You did this saving first 100K is the hardest, but then this happens. If you haven't already, do a saving the first 10K, do a saving the first um 1,000 and do first 10K, maybe even also the first 500, 5K as well. I would do those and I'd make a series. I'd also maybe make a new video, an updated video on saving the first 1,000 and make it part of this series. I'd probably try to do a 3 to 5 part series, um, and help people save that first 1,000, maybe that first 5,000, 10,000, then 50,000, then 100,000. Also, if you haven't, you might need to do a the truth about for every one of the top 10 major credit cards in America. So consider that. So I would those are just topic ideas and some content strategy for you, Matt. In my view, you don't really need a ton of help, but I think I can definitely offer some to someone like you. I think that if you just tweak some of your titles, they'll perform better. I think that there are some topics that you could turn into series that would do very well for you. I think that idea generation is something that I've been able to successfully help a lot of people with in channels like yours. He does something different than you, but I did have a student of mine I did a bunch of calls with in the financial space, but he's a little different than you. It's my friend Steve Ram. He is killing it. He'll have more subscribers than me soon. He'll have a gold play button. We should bring him on the podcast. But he went and tapped into stimulus content. We started working together during the pandemic. He tapped into stimulus content. Then he pivoted into financial content that has an intersection with politics. And he uploads basically daily. Videos can be hit or miss, but because he's daily, he just gets massive views. Great RPMs in the niche as well. He has a very consistent thumbnail style, as you can see, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'm not suggesting you go in this direction at all or that you do his thumbnail style. I'm just saying that when you can figure out your content flow and strategy, and when you can get to a point to where it could be daily content and you're able to sustain it for a few years, these are the kind of things that can happen. So this is just a representation of something that's possible to give you some inspiration, but also give you some motivation because you're already on a great track. But look at what happens when you have 2,000 videos plus that all cater to the same people. Look at what's possible in terms of your subscribers. Look at what's possible in terms of lifetime views, 133 million lifetime views. These things are possible. And this is where the volume of content can matter significantly. Steve's posted more content than me, and he's not been doing it as long because he's been daily, nonstop for about 4 or 5 years now. So that's just what can happen there. So, Matt, just wanted to give you some inspiration, give you some advice and some thoughts. I think you have a lot of potential here. I love your mission of no get rich quick schemes and no gimmicks and some straight talk about money. So good job, my friend. Well done. Well done. So that's my advice to investing with Matt. What did you guys think? Do you agree? Do you think I did a good job there? Thank you, Nate the Lawyer, for another super chat here. Nate the Lawyer, thanks for the channel review. I've been watching you since I had 30 subs, and it's been a long journey, but with focus and patience, success comes. YouTube's a marathon, not a sprint. Yes. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that, Nate. All right. You got people getting hype in the chat. That's what I like to hear. Appreciate it. All right, tips for cruisers is our next channel. We've been getting a lot of interest in the cruise niche lately. We had Sig the Solo Cruiser. We had Poverty to Paradise. Both are members of Awesome Creator Academy. Now we have in this one we have tips for cruisers. And let me just check to see if there's any info in your super chat here, just to make sure. And tips for cruisers came through with a $49 super chat. Wow, amazing. So tips for cruisers. We're gonna bring up the channel. Let's see here. We're about an hour and 20 minutes in. We're about 7 to 8 channels in. So this banner could be better. This banner could be better, and it could really invoke the idea of travel and adventure a lot more. I think that the elements you tried to have in the profile pic should be elements that are represented in the banner instead. I want to see a cruise ship here. I want to see the high seas here instead of just a glow effect. So I think that that could be stronger. Profile pic could be stronger as well. I don't think having these elements in the profile pic add anything. They take away from us seeing your smiling face. So I would actually want to enlarge that and get that a lot bigger so we can see your face, see who we're dealing with. I do like that you have 57 videos and you've gotten to 1.89K, almost 2,000 subscribers. So well done. Let's see what we have here. Basic homepage layout. Yeah, not really anything too fancy there. Okay. Thumbnails are really inconsistent in their nature. They're a little all over the place, but also remember what we said earlier when it came to fonts. The fonts that any and all of you want to be using are going to be, and we're going to post them in the chat again. You want to use the bold versions of these fonts. You want to use Poppins, Babus New, Oswald bold, like Oswald Cobblepot. So Oswald bold. You want to use Futura, and you want to use Open Sans. All of these fonts make YouTube thumbnails much better. So those would be more consistent. And for most of you, you just want to use white or yellow with a drop shadow for your fonts in most cases. It'll save a lot of you the trouble of trying to figure this out if you're not a graphic designer. So I've placed the names of the fonts that you guys want to be using in the chat once again. So you want to use the bold versions of these. Poppins, Babus New, Oswald, Futura, and Open Sans. Those are 5 safe fonts for YouTube. They are Roberto approved. I believe all of them are open source and free aside from Futura, but they're not hard to find. And I think that those would do better. I do like that at least with most of these thumbnails, we are seeing an exotic place, or we are seeing the ocean or the cruise ship. There are some videos here that popped and got views. Let's see what your most popular ones are like. So these were definitely carried by the title and by some of them being breaking news versus the thumbnails. Some of these succeeded in spite of their thumbnails. So I would do that. I would definitely consider, like I said, the thumbnails and considering better text and text layouts. A lot of you need to learn proper text layouts. While not exactly the same type of channel as yours, there is a channel, there's a channel called Wealthy Expat. And in terms of properly using, well, see, again, this is exactly the kind of the type of channel art banner that you should definitely have for tips for cruisers. And then in terms of text lockups and using typography well, if you look at how Wealthy Expat uses fonts and type, this should tell you exactly how to use type and layout and typography and show off a background and show off this kind of thing. in a YouTube thumbnail. So this is a really good example of using text and fonts correctly. Slightly different niche than you, but a travel adjacent niche. So it's not that I think you have to put your face in the thumbnails like Wealthy Expat. I just think that this is a good use of text and a good use of backgrounds that everyone could learn from. And so tips for cruisers, I could see this kind of thing working much better for your videos where that's concerned. So just something to think about. And I think that that could do a lot better for you. Also, for our microphone for you, I'm going to recommend the DJI Mic Mini, as it is a magnetic clip-on mic that is very low profile and very high quality, and it's not very expensive. So I'm definitely going to recommend you look into that. But I think again, the thing that could be the most improved when it comes to you is definitely just these thumbnails and getting into consistent thumbnail branding and consistent thumbnail looks. So I think that to some degree you kind of knew that, but in terms of direction, I just showed you a channel that you can and should be inspired by, and then gave you the fonts that I think will ultimately um do that. You have the Rode Wireless Pro now. Excellent. Yeah, the Rode Wireless Pro is good. I do personally prefer the DJI microphones, but Rode is fine. I have Rode wireless microphones. Um, you know, um, I actually had lent that to my Rode Wireless to my brother, but he prefers the DJI mics as well, both for quality and convenience. So he just borrows my DJI microphones anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, the Rode Wireless is also good. Um, you said the channel example was good for you. Fantastic. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So yeah. So I do think that this is a strong overall potential upgrade in terms of you can upgrade the thumbnails. I don't hate this one with the ship review here. This is closer. I just think that there are elements of it could be better. This arrow did not need to be as big, for example. Um, I do like the title though. 4 days on the world's newest mega ship. So again, I think that ship review isn't necessary for this one in terms of the thumbnail. I would actually probably put 4 days on um the mega ship, or 4 day. Actually, the text I'd probably use is 4 day mega ship voyage. And then I probably wouldn't even use the arrow. And then that would probably just be my thumbnail. 4 day mega ship voyage, or 4 day mega ship cruise. And that would be my thumbnail. And then it'd be good to go. So, yeah, that's probably the sort of thing I would do. The Coco K Hideaway Beach, I don't think you need the thumbs up, thumbs down. If anything, I think it takes away from this by a lot. I think it'd just be better without the thumbs up and thumbs down altogether. The I messed up. You don't need to be in the thumbnail for the emergency, what no one tells you about the utopia. I would have just taken yourself out of the thumbnail, moved the text all the way over to the right, and you know, then I would have the I messed up, and it would be probably a little bit smaller, and then it would be easier to read, and you still see the mega ship. Because I just don't love putting the text over it. It just distracts and takes away. And I think you'd have more room for it if you aren't in there, because you're being blocked by the timestamp anyway. So I think you have one of two options. Um, you either take out the I messed up, or you put that stacked as text all the way across the bottom. Then you make yourself much bigger here to take up the difference in the white space. So that would be my suggestion to fix that particular thumbnail, and to also just kind of have an idea for that type of thumbnail going forward. Also, I think that there are better ways to approach a thumbnail like this, because again, you're covering up the ship. Never cover up the ship with text. Avoid that at all cost. So those would be my thoughts on your channel, my friend. And again, a lot of these things YouTubers do all the time, but you also saw, and what I want you guys to be encouraged by is that sometimes if your title and topic is good enough, you can overcome your thumbnails to some degree, but you'd rather be in a position to not have to overcome your thumbnails and have your thumbnails work for you instead of against you. You want that in every situation. But if we're arguing about what's more important, title or thumbnail, all of you have seen throughout all channel reviews that we've done this week, last week, the previous ones, so on and so forth. The 5,000 channel reviews we've done on this channel throughout all of time. We've done 5,000 public channel reviews throughout all time. We counted. So what we've learned throughout all of them is that the title tends to be much more important to get right than the thumbnail overall. We've learned that over and over and over again. But that isn't an excuse to have poor thumbnails, because then you are missing out on views you could have had if you had also had excellent titles and excellent thumbnails working for you, instead of having to overcome the limitations that one creates and making one do all the work instead of them combining to deliver to you the views that you deserve. Quality content deserves quality packaging. It's one of the key tenets we teach in Awesome Creator Academy is quality content deserves quality packaging. We focus on positioning in the market, packaging for the viewer, making sure you're publishing and promoting in a proper way by testing with analytics, doing your A/B testing, and getting your timing right. And then you got to make sure you understand what the payoff is for the viewer and what the payoff is for you and how you get that across. So there's a lot of things to really cover, but for most of you, your biggest problems tend to start with the packaging of your videos and the fact that a lot of you don't know your positioning and value proposition in the market, how to use your talents to attract your tribe. So that's the key. A lot of you also don't pick niches that have the right total addressable market that will suit your talents. You're picking something where you guys are, sometimes it's not always about following your number one passion. You have to play to your strengths. Sometimes you choose a passion that you suck at and it's not going to work. You need to go where your talents serve you best and serve the audience best. That's how you're going to attract your tribe. You have to go where your talents would be appreciated and where your talents add the most value. That should be something that you're passionate about, but also have skill in, and would put you in a group of people, an audience, a market that you understand and that you care about, and where you feel you're treated well. You want to be where you're treated best. So you shouldn't pick a niche that's a community you don't even like being a part of every day, or that you don't know anything about. Even if you're passionate about it, even if it makes money, that'd be a bad idea. Go where you're treated best and where your talents are appreciated and serve other people well. Yep. So hopefully we all learned a little bit from that. Let's move on to our friend Clover Tack, who's also a mod for the channel here, and also one of the best Second Amendment and firearms channels in the YouTube community. So let's go. 21,000 subscribers, 641 videos. Good, good, good. Clover, good banner, solid separation, says what it is, promotes the website, great logo, clutch. Well done. So nothing to complain about with branding. You can eliminate the welcome to the channel from the about. and you could just lead with the value proposition of I hope you enjoy firearm related content. And so then you could have all the rest. But for that first line of your value proposition, you can eliminate welcome to the channel. It's not necessary. I like that you have the fresh from Clover, goals 2024, GunCon 2024, Gerson firearms. So really solid custom layout when it comes to the channel. And then you have your sub channels there, your secondary channels. Okay. You could move the members section to the top, and that'd probably be cleaner in the customization. In terms of the videos and the thumbnails, realistic thumbnails are probably the best bet for you in some cases, such as the 12 guns nobody else covered. That's actually really solid. I like the idea in general of over the shoulder photography shots for this type of content, to be honest. I like that you do put some effort into the thumbnails, at least in posing for them for the members only content. For the individual gun content, you might consider A/B testing between product only versus a posed thumbnail. So you might want to A/B test and then see which ones people tend to respond to better. But overall, I think these are good. I am conflicted on the crossbow thumbnail because I get the idea conceptually for the crossbow thumbnail. I just don't think the execution works for the text, at least. I get where you were going with the not the same. Um, Also, you blend with that particular shirt too much into the background that you have for that thumbnail. So I would alter the background or darken the background in some way. I like the idea of the crossbow videos themselves, actually. And weirdly, I might watch this kind of video because I've been um debating getting a crossbow because I'm weird like that. So I actually would kind of actually be the person who would watch a repeating crossbow video. Um, because I also am a weirdo, so I actually know the difference between a crossbow, a recurve bow, and a longbow. Because I'm weird. So yeah, I could see the vision for that. I think in theory, maybe even a more realistic thumbnail might have been better. I mean, the first frame of the video actually isn't the worst thumbnail in the world by itself, if I'm being honest. I would definitely consider the A/B testing between product only versus posed thumbnails. But in general, it feels like the ones that tend to perform best are where it shows you with it in your hand. But I would A/B test that because some of them are conflicting with that. I do kind of like a little bit of what you do, feeling like you're a real life G.I. Joe action figure. You kind of remind me in some ways, and I don't know if this would work. You kind of almost remind me a little bit of the character from G.I. Joe. I don't know if you were a G.I. Joe fan growing up, Clover, but there was a character in G.I. Joe, Footloose. Um, you know, and I believe Footloose used to wear a jersey and an army helmet. Um, if you recall. So like in a weird way, you kind of do remind me a little bit of Footloose from G.I. Joe. So I do like that some of your thumbnails do feel like you're a real life G.I. Joe action figure with Kung Fu grip. So I do think there's something to that. those shirts are your merch and you don't really want to move too far away from those. No, I'm fine with you wearing the merch as the shirts. I actually think the tactical glasses are great for you in the videos and in the thumbnails, honestly. Um, what I'm getting at though is with the shirts, I'm fine with the shirts. The main thing is don't create a scenario where you can still stand out against the background. I'm actually fine with these open air backgrounds. I just think that if the parts behind you, you might need to add a drop shadow or you might need to darken up a little bit just so that you have some kind of way to separate yourself a little bit more from the background sometime so that you stand out a little more. That's all. But I also do like a little bit of this combination of I like that it feels like with the yellow and the red and the text motif here and some of the way you handle effects, I do like that GI Joe feel to it. Also, for the ones that are more realistic, just make sure in Photoshop that maybe there's a little bit of sharpening and contrast as those look really good on firearms and gunmetal in general. Um, so again, don't overdo any of the photo retouching, but a little bit goes a long way with this sort of thing. Here's something from a strategy standpoint. I think that doing guide videos for the complete cleaning and care of individual firearms would be something that does surprisingly well as evergreen content. I also think that something that could do surprisingly well is a video with all the accessories that you can get for individual firearms. So I think videos that have individual accessories for the firearms that you recommend would actually be really good. I think a comparison or haul video on everyday carries and knives. I think doing haul videos around those. I think doing accessory hauls for individual firearms. And I think doing complete guides for the cleaning and care of individual types of firearms would actually go very well and be evergreen content for you. So from a strategy standpoint, I would actually pursue quite a bit of that. So just something to think about. Just something to think about there. I think finding things like the Remington, things that are highly collected and sought after, and then doing the cleaning, care, and maintenance videos, the complete guides for cleaning, care, and maintenance, and then also doing accessory videos for them and accessory haul videos for them would do extremely well and would be evergreen content that constantly brings in a funnel of views, would be great for the affiliate links. So I think that that would work for you. So again, well done, Clover. What'd y'all think of that one? Something a little different, something that we rarely get a chance to cover on the channel. I think we get to cover Clover and She Fires when it comes to firearms content. You know, and they've been great in terms of being really good sports about the channel reviews on those. So I think it was actually really good. I think that it'll help you a lot, Clover, with some of that. Yep. And let me see. One more thing. Something that can help with anything is this concept of creating your own font lockups in advance for your thumbnails of font positioning and kind of having versions of like, okay, here's when I have left a framed text. Here's what I do when I have right frame text. Here's top, here's bottom. Just having some of those things laid out and having them ready to go so that you're dumping photos and things into set up, locked up files that have the text already laid out and looking good and having the right amount of text and the right amount of lines of text and all those things, that building a template system could help all of you. Building a template system could really help all of you. Yes, like a style guide. Exactly so. But I would do a version that has, okay, here's left frame text, here's right frame text, here's text that's 2 lines, here's text that's 3 lines. I probably wouldn't do more than 3 lines. Here's top aligned, here's bottom aligned. You know, I would make multiple lockups and have more templates of these. That way you're just dropping in to templates 1 through 5, and I would just build a template system. So I wouldn't just build one template. I build a template system. In fact, that's what I do. I use and I built my own template system. Bro, how do you like the Futura display font for a thumbnail? Oh, I like it. I think it's decent. I think Futura, I prefer Futura bold though. So yeah. Yes, doing a template system helps you build your visual brand. In fact, I take mine to a bit of an extreme because in addition to my template system, having my colors, my fonts, and having positioning and all these things, I also have a folder of assets, icons, different things. Some of them are custom built to where only I have them. Some of them are commissioned to where only I have them. I also take it further. I do photo shoots with poses, positions, props, physical comedy. That's why I have hundreds of photos that exist for my thumbnails, and that's why you guys see more advanced thumbnails. Yes, there's stuff to help with all of this at awesomecreatoracademy.com. So check that out. Links in the description. All right, let's move on to Mr. Jermaine Grant. We are rocking and rolling. We have what is it? After Mr. Jermaine Grant, we have 3 more for tonight. And yeah, so let's do it. Yes, the YouTube starter kit is great for this. We have the text and the lockups already done for you to drop in your images, so that's actually great. You should check that out, YouTube starter kit. Also, discount code 20 off is working again. So for the YouTube starter kit and brand deal starter kit, discount code 20 off at checkout gets you 20% off. So definitely take advantage of that. Mods, if we can get a link to the YouTube starter kit and the brand deal starter kit in the chat, that'd be great. Let's see here. Mr. Jermaine Grant, original films. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So, Mr. Jermaine Grant, new original films. I'm a filmmaker who loves to teach and make films. Okay, very straightforward value proposition. 12,000 subscribers off of 120 videos. Fantastic. Homepage layout, Blender tutorials and projects. Nice. You know, I started as a tutorial guy. Actually still have tutorials on this channel. I still do them every now and again. In fact, hopefully next week, my tutorial on adding background sound in Premiere Pro comes out. So very good. Solid stuff here in terms of the layout for your channel. I like how clean your banner is. I do feel like this photo of you, I get the old film look for it. I just think that a nice photo of you on either a black or a Premiere Pro purple background or even a yellow background will just pop more in sharpness, high contrast. So I just think that you would do yourself more of a justice with that. Smart linking to your Patreon. Very well done. Let's go look at your titles and your thumbnails. So right off the bat, we know that the hard part for you here is the consistency, which could be any number of things. Could be time, effort, motivation, but it looks like you put a lot of effort into everything that you're doing. So it could just be that the level of difficulty for what you're doing or what you want to do is extremely high, especially since a lot of what you do is After Effects and Blender tutorials. You definitely are striking me much more as a quality over quantity guy. Here is the catch though. Even if you're going to do high quality, you have to have the consistency of at least 1 to 2 videos a month, my friend. So you got to figure out something that solves a problem versus that you're capable of adding value to versus just something you would want to make. I love the stuff like Jurassic Park found footage. You definitely need to do another one with the movie getting ready to come out at some point, but I think you need to balance once a month projects with also twice a month projects. And so I think you need to figure out simple things that you can do that add value that you could technically make once a week if you really wanted to. But instead, maybe you get those to be a little high quality, a little bit more high quality. So you get to a twice a week cadence for regular videos, but maybe you have a once a month or even once a quarter big project that you want to do. I also think that you need to be consistent with the text on these. I get what you're trying to do with some of it. The Pulp Fiction title, it makes sense that was a little bit different. Um, I also don't know what the 2020 in a nutshell video is. Maybe you just needed to vent, but the value proposition of the channel seems to be much more aligned to tutorial content that solves a problem. But I think that if you want to do a project like the Jurassic Park thing, once a quarter, 6 times a year, you can do that and make your masterpieces. But I think that what you need to do is you need to be putting out 2 simple projects every month that could be the most valuable to people. And the most valuable things you have for people are tutorials that solve a problem for them in 5 to 10 minutes. That make something complicated very simple. Your best tutorials are your under 5 minute tutorials. I think for After Effects stuff, things that are under 10, under 20 minutes are great for you because people really care about that. I think the Blender projects are a big project you do every other month. So you can spend 2 months on a Blender project, but I think you need to put out Premiere and or After Effects tutorials every other week. Um, and then that would be enough. And that would be helpful to people. It would keep the channel alive and well. And I think that that's what would be best for you is that kind of upload cadence, which I understand the difficulty of just by virtue of you want to do things really well. You want to do some things that are more challenging. So I think you need to find multiple formats because I understand for how quality over quantity is for some people. But I don't think it's a hill you have to die on. I think that you can make the best quality ever. Um, every other month and put out 6 bangers like that a year that you feel are your best work, like the Jurassic Park stuff, and that go hard. But I think that twice a month, you got to feed the audience and give them something that makes their life easier using these tools. And I think that that's reasonable and could still be a good request. So I'd love to know what the chat thinks about this approach to cadence that I'm suggesting for Jermaine. I think that um, overall his approach to thumbnails is more or less fine for what tutorial channels are. Um, and he's obviously done things that get views. But I think the biggest problem here is that balance of quality and quantity. And I'd love to know if you guys like my compromise of you can make bangers every other month, but you need to make helpful content every other week. Because I think that that's the proper balance. Because then I think the channel grows significantly. Because I mean, if you got this far in 126 videos, and I don't think that doing every other week a tutorial and every other month a banger project, I don't think that that hurts you, and I don't think that that hurts the channel at all. Because then I think it gets you 30 videos a year, and I think that that's a decent cadence for quality content that's high effort. So that would be um my thought process. I also do like the idea for those, by the way, of the every other week. Of the every other week, it being something that might be how to do something you've seen in a film before and that we've want to replicate. So I'm also fine with that. But would love to know what the chat thinks of this. And again, I like Mr. Jermaine Grant's channel. Think it's great. I think it's the kind of stuff that I started with when I was doing YouTube. Uh, and I think that makes total sense. But like I said, I think for someone that wants to make this more sustainable, that you have to feed the audience enough content consistently at a decent cadence. And I think that that's the balance. Yes, I understand that even if a channel doesn't upload often, that you could want to subscribe to it. The problem is, though, you won't watch enough content from it, and there's not enough content for you to watch that you'd be interested in enough frequency for that creator to make a good living and earn a good living. Because I understand where a lot of people are coming from on the quality over quantity and the making bangers thing, but the problem with that knowledge, that the problem with that notion is even when you make quality content, it won't always go viral and it won't always get a lot of views. And sometimes it doesn't even get the evergreen views. And then even if it does, it takes a while. And then if there's no other content in the pipeline, and if people are not watching content frequently enough, and I've learned this, I've been a content creator for a very, very, very long time now, and I've done daily content, not done daily content. I've taken 4 months off before. I've taken 6 months off before. I dropped my content upload frequency by 80% during the pandemic. I can tell you straight up that for a lot of creators who don't have brand deals, one, if you're not consistent, harder to get brand deals. So that cuts that revenue stream. You're not consistent, harder to maintain Patreon and channel memberships when you're not consistent. So now you're left with AdSense. How do you make money? If you're not uploading consistently, even if you have a couple of videos that are bangers, you're just not generating enough money week to week, month to month to make a good income and to make a good living. So the methodology for it just doesn't make any economic sense. It is something you can do if you have a very good job that you like and you do this on the side and you like your job and you don't hate your boss and you don't want to say, woe is me. Why am I doing with my life? Why can't I be a full-time content creator? If you want to be a full-time content creator, I think that the only reason that people who are big can do quality over quantity largely comes down to the fact that when they were young, they had a lot of leeway. Their parents were probably very good to them, and they had the opportunity to where if they failed at anything in life, it meant going back to mommy and daddy in the suburbs in a pretty decent neighborhood. So I just don't subscribe to the quality over quantity thesis if you're a working class creator who doesn't like their job. If you are high income, you like your job, you don't need to make a living at this, you can do this with that mentality. But from a cash flow standpoint, quality over quantity doesn't work for most people. It does work for extremely young YouTubers whose parents pay their bills. It does work if your wife or husband supports your dreams financially. But outside of that, it just isn't practical because you can't sustain members supporting you if you don't upload enough. They'll just feel like you're taking advantage. And you can't get brand deals if you don't upload enough. And even if you did, are you good at negotiating? Are you good at haggling on that price? Do you have any kind of way of them feeling like the video is absolutely guaranteed to perform with ghosting the audience that way? That's a difficult sales pitch for a brand. So the best thing a creator can do from a financial standpoint is be consistent and show up to work as many days of the year as they can. And I've just seen it over and over that tends to be the case. There are exceptions that exist outside that rule. The problem is most of those exceptions outside that rule also don't have a working class creator's circumstances. They may or may not disclose that. They'll look like a working stiff like the rest of us, but not so much. A lot of times there's a little bit of money there to work with already from something. Could be that their parents or their spouse is taking care of them. I know a creator that was able to launch his channel because his wife was already a successful real estate agent. His wife was pulling down mid six figures, so she was doing really well for herself. She hated seeing him be miserable at his job, and she said, honey, I'm going to give you 6 months and 30 grand to see if you can make it as a full-time content creator. And so he hit the ground running. 6 months became a year, but he had a wife that loved him enough to do that for him. And he got to be a full-time content creator. So you can have circumstances that other people don't know about that let you play the game differently. And maybe you can do some things that other people can't do. But for most content creators, the best thing they can do to become a full-time content creator and move from being working class to middle class content creator would be a consistent upload cadence, primarily building a back catalog that can cash flow, that can show consistency so that brands can then put you on a retainer monthly, so you can get a monthly retainer from brands. You get 3-month retainers, you can probably replace your salary at work with consistent income. 6 to 12-month contract retainer with a couple of brands is just as good as an employment contract year to year. So pretty good with that. And then you have consistent cash flow coming in to pay bills. You have your monthly check from YouTube on top of that. So now you've got money coming in there. If you can be consistent and you can get members to support on Patreon, channel memberships, or your own membership website, then you have that money, and then that at least exists outside of views. You just got to deliver on your promises there. It's those sort of things. So all of those things have a bias toward consistency, though, and that would mean upload frequency, upload cadence. So that would be, for most YouTubers, that's just going to be the thing that has the highest likelihood of being financially viable for them. So I just hope that makes sense to most people. Oh, so yeah, Great T News says that Snarky Jay's dad gave her a year of free rent and not working to solely focus on YouTube. And that's so rare. I love her content, love her channel, but you can tell she was able to put the time and effort into her content. Yeah, most people do not get a gift of love like that to make this all work. And the people that are wildly successful, a lot of them, some of them will be honest, like Snarky J. I love her content. I haven't interacted with her much personally. I would love to. I think she's a talented and gifted creator. I'm so glad that her dad did that for her. But a lot of people don't get a love gift like that to be able to pursue this. But the ones who do, a lot of them in that situation, it was all that they needed to make it. Not all of us get that. And, I'm happy when some people at least are honest and disclose that that's what happened to them, because then we can understand, okay, that makes more sense now. Because a lot of people outside of that will just pretend that they blew up out of nowhere and that nobody helped them and that nobody gave them a hand up. So, but good on Jay for, yeah, at least being honest. And there's so many stories like that out there. You just never hear about them. A lot of people keep their cards close to the chest. So, that's something you have to consider, is you can't look at a channel, oh, they started the same time as me, why are they growing more, this or that? Because a lot of them, they're not running on fumes. They get to do this more full time. They get to do this with love and support. They get to do this with resources and money. They get to do this without certain compromises having to be made. Not everybody's circumstances are the same. So there's not really, honestly, from a platform standpoint, there's a such thing as an even playing field, but you just don't know other people's circumstances. There are plenty of people who succeeding who had it harder than you. There are people succeeding that had it easier than you. There are some people succeeding because it's so hard. That's a real thing. So you get a little bit of real talk tonight too. All right, let's go look at Lowly D's creations. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Then after Lowly, we have, or is it Lolly, or is it Lowly? We have J Red, and then Ask Papa. So let's see here. So we have Lowly D's, or Lolly D's creations, DIY crafting, home decor, upcycling. Okay. So we know what the content is about. I do like the handwritten font here, actually, believe it or not. Not a fan of the colors though. I think that I don't know if you have anything against it, but I think a purple or a pink would work better for this color scheme. I don't think the gray is doing anything for it. I like the butterflies though. So I like that feels very crafty. You could also, if you don't want to go with something that seems cliche like purple or pink, you could go with the background, that the gray part. You could just take the gray part and that could be green, and then the rest could be white. As far as what's teal could be white, and then this could be green, and then that would still look dope and it would still pop. So that's a possibility. Let's see, channel layout. You did videos, shorts, and then popular videos, wreaths, fall DIYs, thrifted DIYs, haul videos, and my finds. So it looks like floral arrangement. So you have good content buckets. Very good. You welcome to Lolly D's Creations channel with affordable and creative. You could skip the welcome. And you could go, this channel focuses on affordable creativity and endless possibilities, because then that's the value proposition. Um, I get where you're coming from with putting welcome in, but it just takes up more space than it needs to instead of giving the people the thing they care about. Solid profile picture here. Let's see. Interestingly, I think that you should probably consider A/B testing realistic thumbnails that could be photos, because some of the frames of your videos feel like they would be better thumbnails than the current thumbnails. These thumbnails are getting really good views, by the way, for the amount of subscribers you have. They're excellent, but I would say consider A/B testing realistic thumbnails, because in a craft and DIY niche, I know that a lot of the Canva girly aesthetic works well for these type of videos. Works well for some of my clients as well. However, I would A/B test with realistic thumbnails and see if top-down realistic thumbnails that are photography based, just sharpen them up a bit, use some contrast, do some photo retouching. But I would A/B test realistic thumbnails and see how they perform. So I'd be very curious about that for you. Um, and I think that you could do very well with that. What I do like about these thumbnails is they aren't cluttered and they're easy to read, and the value proposition is easy. Now, the way that you repetitively use the same picture in the thumbnails is off-putting. I would consider using a variety of poses. Um, for example, um, in my videos, you find that I do a variety of poses in my thumbnails with the photo shoots, and that I interact with the thumbnails. So I would consider how you might try to do um, more variety of poses, because as you can see, I do a variety of poses for mine that I can use, and that I can make templates and make a template system around my thumbnails. So I would do something similar with yours, that where you have some variety, so it doesn't feel as repetitive there. Um, on top of that, don't use drop shadows if you use black text. If the text is black, don't use a drop shadow. If you're trying to use the drop shadow because you're using um, another line of text that's a different color, just make them different text blocks if you need to. So consider that. But yeah, I would A/B test these Canva style thumbnails, comparing them to specifically realistic thumbnails, because of the fact that your video quality in top down is actually pretty good, and some of it would probably see, like here you used physical um posing in this one where you're pointing. So I would have more of a variety of those. And I would also consider you don't always have to crop as close to the side here as well. So it's a matter of positioning. So just consider that. For tonight, for those asking, we're gonna probably end channel reviews tonight with J Red and Ask Papa. And the reason is it's almost 11 p.m. here. We started pretty late tonight. So I did a lot fewer channel reviews. But we will do channel reviews again next week for those interested. But yeah, I like the concept. I like your content pillars for this channel, but I also think that there are thumbnails that can be more competitive here. And sometimes it could be the realistic ones, but I would also do research with our friends at oneof10.com. Link is in the description to also see what are the highest performing thumbnails possible for this kind of content. Now, this is a creator that is, her content, she was the biggest DIY creator, but I don't know how her views are doing this day, but I will these days. But I will tell you that her thumbnail style is very powerful in general, and it could work. And you could take some inspiration for hers. And hers are a combination of aesthetic and realistic. So lore DIY is the biggest in the niche. Um, and the thing is, I think with a little bit of effort, you could have the skills for this type of thumbnail. This thumbnail does not require the level of Photoshop skills that you might think it does. It's more about layout and placement and planned photography more than anything. So I would consider that. And even though not a DIY channel, you should also check out HopeScope. And I think if you did DIY videos, but with HopeScope thumbnail aesthetics, that they could be extremely good. And you're very photogenic, so I do feel like you could pull this off as well. Um, and so the key here is being expressive, both in terms of facial expression and physically expressive as well, similar to how I stage my thumbnails. However, Hope Scope takes her stuff to much more of an extreme. Um, so yeah, so I think that this could definitely work. Um, Katie Ukulele is suggesting in the chat, maybe instead of finished product, it could be in progress product. I think potentially the before and after thumbnail style, but using maybe a Hope Scope thing, but then instead of like this 2000 versus 2024, it's before and after, and there's a split, and then it shows the project or the thing behind it in progress versus complete. So I do feel like that could be a thing. Yeah, I think sometimes showing the finished project can get less views because it eliminates curiosity. So I do think that's a thing, but I think a lot can be learned from this from HopeScope. And so I think that if you consider how you can approach your thumbnails like that, that the views could explode because there's a lot of demand for this type of thing. If the thumbnails are just objectively too good to ignore, it could do very well. So those would be some of my considerations for you. You don't, in my opinion, need that much help with ideas. I think you come up with good ideas. I think you've come up with good ideas in the past. I just think that if you combine your good ideas and your good titles with the best thumbnails possible, that you couldn't help but get more views if that were the case. But overall, still well done, especially for a channel this size. I think there's potential here. I think that you're getting good solid views. I think that there's potential for this to do more. I think the biggest thing with it is packaging, especially in a niche that's very aesthetic. I think that channels that especially cater to a female audience cannot skip on aesthetic value. So I would just increase the aesthetic value of the packaging. The content's already good. Great content deserves great packaging. Quality content deserves quality packaging. So I would make it a priority from now on. But overall, great job. So, what did you guys think of Lolly D's channel? What did you think of my review? What did you think of my advice for her? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat for those of you watching live, for those watching the replay or the clip. Just let me know in the comment section. What do you think of the channel? What did you think of my advice? What would you do differently? All right. All right. All right. All right. We're gonna do Jay Red's channel. We're gonna do Ask Papa's channel. So, what I'm going to do though is I'm gonna get a refill on something here to drink because my voice is threatening to die on me. So, in the meantime, you guys can enjoy the trailer for my book, Create Something Awesome: How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. You can check that out at robertoblake.com/go/book, or you can type my name into Amazon, or you can type the book, Create Something Awesome, into Amazon and find it there or wherever books are sold. But here's the book trailer while I take a little break. I finally did it. I finished my book, Create Something Awesome: How Content Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. The book is available now in paperback and in Kindle, where you can read it on any e-reader or device. And I'm really excited about this. The audiobook is coming soon, probably October 2022. Oh my God, it's so great to be able to have this book done, put it up on the bookshelf, and to know that all of you who appreciate it, you want to hear what I have to say about the creator economy, becoming a full-time content creator, and what the experience and lifestyle of being a content creator actually is like. This is the book. I put 20 chapters in here of the most important things I think that content creators could be focusing on today. I talk about the mental health aspect of being a content creator, getting discouraged, imposter syndrome, not charging what you're worth, and mostly actionable advice around monetizing your content properly, but also how to build an audience on your authenticity and what it's really like to start from zero, even today. So if you're interested, make sure you're checking out the book. You can order it on Amazon. You also probably order it in a lot of other places like Barnes & Noble, and it will be coming to other bookstores soon. Really excited about it. Thank you for all the support and love around the book and the positive reviews. Now go ahead and pick it up and make sure you go out there and create something awesome today. Take care. Okay. I think now that I've had a little bit of hydration, I think we can move on to J Red Unfiltered. Think my voice is going to survive. All right, let's see, Mr. J Red. Thank you for waiting patiently. So, J Red Unfiltered. Reactions, discussion, culture, politics, trending news. jred.com. My ultimate goal is to stimulate conversation with entertaining yet thought-provoking content. Okay, so that sentence fits into the first line of the value proposition. 743 videos, 2.7K subscribers. Let's see. Culture and commentary. I don't love the pose for the profile pic. I think that the facial expression and type of pose in your banner is stronger and would do well in the profile pic. I also don't necessarily think that the gradient in gray is the strongest. I think it might be stronger if it's black with the red and white. So just consider that. From a contrast standpoint, think that pops better. Let's see, Linktree, smart move. So looks like you're doing culture and commentary. Thumbnails could be a lot stronger here. I see exactly what you could be going for. The channel for you to take inspiration from, that would be the gold standard of what you're trying to do, is going to be Mr. Anton Daniels. We've mentioned Anton on the channel before. For the type of content you're doing, it's most similar to this gentleman, and therefore, I think that your thumbnail strategy should probably lean more toward this style of commentary thumbnail. And then that would work for you. A lot of that is mostly text-based lockups, and then also posing for the reactions in a similar manner. These thumbnails are not particularly strong. The titles are good, but not strong enough to carry them. You have exceptions to that. I do think one thing in your favor is your upload frequency and cadence. And I think that topic selection can be strong for you. You have outliers for that, But the thing that's holding you back the most is just the thumbnails, because the thumbnails are our best guess to the quality of the videos. And like I keep saying, quality videos deserve quality packaging. So again, this one here with these ones here with 2,000 views could have all been 10,000 to 20,000 view videos if the thumbnails were stronger. And the answer to that is the closest person to the type of content that you're doing that does it at a higher level is Mr. Anton Daniels. So I would immediately start working on those Photoshop skills and those text lockup skills. And I would sit there and see how you could basically recreate an approach to this, make it your own, pick your own color scheme, so on and so forth. Doesn't have to be the exact same fonts, but again, this is working. This is the audience you kind of are catering to, and this is what they're responding to, and you see how well it works. Similar upload cadence to you as well. So if you just switch up the packaging, because again, you can apparently pick interesting ideas, topics, and videos and things to respond to on your own, and you don't have to do all the same content as Anton Daniels. You've even reacted to the show that he does, Let's Rant About It, with Randy. But the reality is that the thumbnails need to be much stronger because they're people's best guess at the quality of the video itself. So quality videos deserve quality packaging, and the audience doesn't want to guess. So if you can work on that, then you have a real shot, because you could normalize getting 2 to 10,000 views on a video. You can normalize that if the packaging improves, and that's what it takes to level up. That's what it would take to level up, and I think that you have a shot if you can pull that off. I also think you should um, think about the main themes for culture, politics, and trending news that you want to do. Some things perform better for you than others. You have to figure out whether reacting to the shoplifter or crime stuff is going to do better than reacting to topics in Black culture or not. Um, I think that more consistently, Black culture and politics has worked for you. So I would probably go more toward what is consistently performed and worked the most. I think that there are a lot of celebrity scandal things that work around that. I think there are a lot of controversial figures. I think that sourcing and reacting to clips from Club Shay Shay, for example. I think reacting to clips from Club Shay Shay could do something. I think reacting to things from Shannon Sharp could do something. I think that reacting to stuff from Stephen A. Smith could do something. I think that reacting to things that happen with Black politicians in Congress could definitely do something for you. I think that um those all are strong topics in commentary and politics and give you good source material. I think the Fannie Willis stuff has proven to do well in the past. Yeah, the Cat Williams Kanye stuff. Kanye's crashing out right now. The hate to say it, I'm not preying on the man's downfall in any way, but think about it. Right now, you've got a bunch of videos that came out. I don't think you have anything in the last 72 hours on Kanye, and Kanye's been crashing out for the last 48 to 72 hours. So that would probably be something people are interested in an update on, because not everyone wants to follow him on X, not everyone wants to be on X. So the thing is, that could do it. Sourcing topics from Black Twitter could definitely do it too. There's a lot of different approaches to source material, but again, the source material by itself doesn't carry the video, or it shouldn't, because even when it does, you're getting 1,000 views, you're getting 2,000 views, and those could have been 10,000 views. Those could have been 20,000 views. And all they would need is better packaging. All they'd need is better packaging. Oh, Katie says the full meltdown is still happening. So Katie in the chat is saying full meltdown still happening. So endless source material. Even Home Rapid Repair here is telling you that even a 50% improvement in your packaging can result in 10x more views. It's that important. He's absolutely right, because I even gave him this advice and it has proven to be true. So it's definitely something that you need to be considering. So I think that this is probably, like I said, I think this is the most helpful, and I think that studying Anton, who is a master of the game for what you're doing, is one of the best things you could do. And I do respect the work ethic. You putting out 3 videos a day, man, that work ethic is tough. I have a student um, who does reaction content in the music niche. He doesn't get views every single upload like he would like to. He doesn't get the number of views every single upload he wants to, but he gets views and gets outlier views. He hustled his way and brute forced his way over the last 3 years. He brute forced his way to 105K subscribers. I was working with him when he had 4,000 subscribers. The thumbnail quality increase that he did, and he uploads 3 times a day, and he uploads these music reactions, but he does it and he does the brute force because, one, they're evergreen views, they keep the cash flow coming in, and again, some of them hit more than others because it may seem modest, but watch what happens when we sort by his most popular views. When you see how many of his videos were massive view videos, it all makes sense why he would go the brute force route. And also you can see the him going hard on the thumbnails. So this is Magnify Reacts. Even 2 months ago, again, there were videos he did back to back that didn't clear 10,000 views, but here's a video from 2 months ago with 151K. So he just keeps putting videos out, putting things out, and some hit, some don't, but he shows up and works his tail off every day. Brute force, good packaging, doing everything he can to improve the quality of the content and level it up, and look at how many views look at how many videos he has that has such good views. So, and he has 100,000 subscribers now. So it is possible, and you can see what packaging can do for content. It's not always a guarantee, but the thing is, you get more with it than if you don't. So I just wanted to show you, between his content and Anton Daniel's content, what is possible for you as a reaction creator that hustles every single day, and that just learning how to put a little bit more quality and effort into the packaging and thumbnails can have major success. That's why, we preach this here on the channel. This is why we preach it in Awesome Creator Academy. And so again, I think you have potential, J Red. I think that packaging is just so very important to you and so many other creators that want to see better results. So, that's what I've got for you. Thank you for being super patient. Thank you for the super chat. Um, I just think that it's one of the most important lessons, is that the first judge that we have off of RIP is, am I interested in this topic? Yes or no? Does this thumbnail make me stop scrolling and stop looking at what else is in my feed? Yes or no? And does this title attract me or alienate me? Which one? It's a lot of binary decisions in the packaging straight up. And is this relevant to me right now? Is this timely? Is this relevant? That's why it's topic, title, thumbnail, timing. These are the things that we're judging a video on. We don't know if it's quality video. We haven't clicked on it yet. We don't know how good the audio is because we haven't clicked on it. We don't know how the video is because we haven't clicked on it. We don't know nothing about your personality. We haven't clicked on it. We don't know that you do a bunch of research. We haven't clicked on it. That's why I think it's misleading to tell creators that quality content is going to get views. The packaging is going to decide the fate of the video before anything else, because it's going to tell you what the value to the viewer is. You have to demonstrate value to the viewer, and the only way to demonstrate value to the viewer is topic, title, thumbnail, and timing, because I have to care about this topic. That's a binary decision. I have to want to stop when I see this thumbnail. I have to stop scrolling. That's a binary decision. I'm going to keep scrolling, or I'm not going to scroll. I'm going to pay attention, or I'm not. I'm going to read that title and headline, and I'm going to decide whether this attracts and excites me, or it alienates and offends or bores me. That's a binary decision. And then, is this timing wise, based on the topic and title, is this relevant to me right now compared to everything else in my feed? Topic, title, thumbnail, and timing decide the fate of your video. We have no idea if it's quality content until we decide it's content we value first. So you have to demonstrate value to the viewer, and then, only then, does quality matter, and the clock starts. I either want to keep watching or I don't. So that hook at the beginning, the quality there matters. The consistent quality every minute and the value that I'm getting per minute watched determines if I keep watching to the end and if I want to watch another video from you ever again or right after. Those are the high signals to YouTube. But again, you never get the quality unless you pass the threshold for demonstrating value to the viewer. If you cannot demonstrate value to the viewer, if you can't get them attracted at a glance, they'll never give your video a chance. That's how it is. So that's the lesson, and it is probably the most valuable lesson for any new YouTuber, any small YouTuber, anybody who wants to get views on their videos. That is the lesson, my friends. And it's so underrated. It's so underrated. So many of you are agonizing over video editing. You're agonizing and nitpicking over your background. You're agonizing over every technical part of the production, and you're losing the battle before you've ever even fought the war because the topic, title, and thumbnail are not hitting. So, yep. So we're down to last review, last call. Got Mr. Ask Papa. And then after this, we'll hang out with the chat for a little while, and then we'll close out. Closing time. So, yeah. All right. Let's go. Let's go. So we got Mr. Ask Papa here. Thank you for the super chat. Let's do the channel review, and thank you for being patient. So 67 videos, 880 subscribers. Welcome to Ask Papa. I didn't grow up wealthy, but I learned wisdom is more valuable than gold. I would skip the welcome to Ask Papa and just go straight to that value proposition. It's a good line. I like it. So Ask Papa. I like that you have the ask there from like ask.com, like that. And subscribe, thumbs up, notification. Like that's actually pretty clever. So I can live with that. Don't know if we need the hacienda in the background. I think you could just go with a plain white background here and it'd be totally fine. Love that you got your own website, axpapa.com. Let's see, you got your videos, you got your shorts, and you just went with create playlist, so you're keeping it simple. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what the most popular videos have ever been. So you have some overperforming videos here. People really care about the tiny home stuff and the downsizing. And it looks like you're covering some retirement. So for Ask Papa, it looks like you're talking about affordable living, budgeting, downsizing, retirement. You know who it looks like a lot of your stuff here could also be for, it says 67 videos. There's only a couple of long form videos here, so I assume the rest are shorts. Going to give you a source of inspiration. I've worked with these great folks. I've done a couple of calls with them. I've coached them before. Living on, you probably have heard of these folks, Living on a Dime to Grow Rich. So the folks over at Living on a Dime, wonderful family, great content creators. You can learn a lot from them. This is some of their older content because they're OG creators, but there's still a lot of good inspiration in what has performed for them. But a lot of their best content will be their oldest content. But as you can see, they also do very well even now in terms of views. And these are all evergreen videos, so they will all keep getting views. So even if they don't launch off right away, these are still healthy views and they'll keep growing. But they cover a lot of the same things that you would want to talk about and that you do. So you could take some inspiration from them. And then you can also see how they're utilizing mostly realistic thumbnails and very simple text in their thumbnails, and that's mostly photography based, and yet at the same time, they still get views. So it's something to consider with your own thumbnails, because watch this. So looking at them and then going to your content, very similar in nature, very similar in temperament. Um, and I think that you could do very well. I think that the thumbnails for some of these aren't bad, but I'm looking right here and there's frames of this video already that feel like they would have been stronger thumbnails, honestly, and they would have just shown a little bit more character to them. Um, so I think that that's an aspect of it. I also think you need to figure out some form of a cadence and maybe even a schedule that helps you understand what you're releasing when, or if there's a series you want to focus on right now. Um, with the tiny home saga, maybe right now it's the tiny home saga, because these views are also really good for a small channel. I just think that they could be even more so. I think they could be even more so because I just think that there are some of these elements that are just endearing in the video and heartwarming that if worked on or staged, or if you took a photo while you were doing it, a lot of you, what you should be doing is doing some photo shoots while you're doing the video itself in the moment. Because there are some things, because by the way, this scene right here with the kids, with the grandbabies, is just so heartwarming, and it's a better thumbnail in itself. Richer life without more money. This frame right there is just so much more heartwarming, even though I do like this picture with you guys with the right here, but at the same time, this one is just so much more heartwarming. I feel like it's the better thumbnail with you and the grandbabies. So I think that that one could be considerably better. Um, so there's just certain situations where realistic thumbnails do better. I do like this pose for you, by the way, in this one for a video with the text. It's just that in general, when you're going to do text-based thumbnails and you're going to do the left-align text-based thumbnails, try to make the text much more scannable. And also with this one, this would have been more effective if it was just a dark background here instead of you know, showing the old homestead, because there's not enough of it visible for it to add any value. So just cleaning that up would be a bit. You say I'm focusing on my tiny home as I build my own, and this spring I'm building my daughter and grandson tiny home. Okay, I love the tiny home saga. So I think more of the videos should absolutely focus on the tiny home saga. And I think it's a storytelling thing that people can get more involved in. What I want to see from that is more storytelling thumbnails, even like this one. Um, this thumbnail is not perfect, but it has some very good things about it, and it's just more charming. It's much more charming. Um, and also this one, how our tiny home saved our retirement and how you can do it too. This is a very photorealistic thumbnail. The text is on here and it's simple. I don't even think you needed the bottom text, just the saved our retirement and the paid. That does it. I think that some of these more realistic thumbnails are going to hit better for people, and a lot of them just feel for you guys more genuine. But there are instances where I like some of this pose stuff, but I think that it can be stronger with some tweaking. I like this one with the HSA retirement one for you, and I think that that's actually really good. I might have just popped the contrast on this a little bit, but other than that, I do like this. I love you wearing what looks like your fishing hat in your thumbnails. I like that look for you. I like that for being on brand for you. I think it's really a little bit of package tweaking. And I think that just looking for the thumbnails to have a wholesome aesthetic is really the key, and also for them to just have some kind of consistency in the text and the fonts and it not feel tacky. And I think part of that is just you just need to know the fonts, and we'll put I'll type those or put those back on the screen again, or if I could just scroll and find them again. Because the font choices, I think you just need to pick one of the fonts that we clear for making good thumbnails. So earlier we had a font list. It might have just been faster for me to type them again, but this is the font list of the fonts for YouTube thumbnails that we approve of, that tend to work the best and are the cleanest and easiest to read. So you could pick any of these, but I would pick a font and be consistent with that and say, yep, that does it. Um, and then that would be good. And I think that that would help you. And again, I would also look into um, staging some of the photography. Now, a little different than the Living on a Dime folks, which I showed you, is also Mark Tilbury. Now, he's a more extreme version of um, thumbnail design that might be a little too much for you guys. It might be closer to Living on a Dime folks, but again, just teachable moment and explanation. This is another older gentleman doing YouTube, and you can see, guys, on his packaging and teaching you about wealth. He comes for blood with these thumbnails. He is not playing around with these thumbnails. Now, he has a thumbnail designer, of course, that does this for him, but he and his sons do the photography for his channel, and they help with the video work. But it's absolute gangbusters. It's great. But again, I don't think you have to make it this complicated. Like I said, I showed you the Living on a Dime folks and how their simplistic thumbnail style could be closer to yours. And again, it's a very genuine thumbnail style and it works for them very well. Could work for you very similarly with similar results. And I see that has that potential because, again, the beginning of the Tiny Home Saga, 21,000 views on a 800 subscriber channel. Phenomenal. Love this for you guys. So I just think that there's a lot of potential here. I think that the packaging is the key to it. And again, they're just frames of the video. They're so much more authentic than the thumbnails that you're using in some cases. I would consider even A/B testing some of that. Because for you guys, I just think that the authentic approach to the thumbnails could just deliver more views, and it just feels more wholesome. And I just think there's like a really charming quality to your family that comes across in photography. Um, and so I think that the thumbnail designs could be taken away from that. So yeah. So that's my thoughts for for you, Ask Pawpaw. I think that what you're doing is wonderful. I feel kind of invested in seeing what happens with you and the family. I'm not logged in over here, so I can't subscribe to anything because this helps my system. But yeah, I now feel a little emotionally invested in what happens with the tiny home saga for you and your family, and for you building your daughter a tiny home on the land as well. So I think this is great. I think there's a lot of opportunity here to grow. I think it's mostly a packaging issue. So well done. What do you guys think? What do you think of Axe Pawpaw's channel? What do you think of the Tiny Home Saga? I think it's going to be the best thing for the channel. What do you guys think of my review? What do you think about my recommendations around more authentic and photography-driven thumbnails, trying to capture the warmth of the family, things like the grandbabies, just this more realistic approach to the thumbnails? I think that that's what would do better for the channel than a designed approach. I think the font can be minimalist, and I think that a lot of things are just punching up and tweaking a little things with the photography. I think they just have a wonderful family. I think that the homestead and the tiny home looks gorgeous by itself. I think it can sell the storytelling and the idea. I think it can stand on its own. I don't think it needs a lot of intricate design. I think that photography would serve this channel better than design, if I'm being honest. I don't think contrived YouTube art thumbnails are always the answer. I think sometimes when you have really great, wholesome storytelling, great host, you have charming characters, that it just plays better anyway. So, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think of my review? What do you think of my advice? Let me know. Yeah, I dig the wholesome vibe. I honestly do. I think that it's like I think that's the kind of thing that makes people stop scrolling, and I think it's different than anything else you get to see in YouTube these days, if I'm being honest with you. I think that there's so much that feels contrived that just the genuineness that's conveyed there and the sincerity is something that would be attractive to people. As Papa says, that was his dad's hat. So, like, see, even things like that are just heartwarming, and people gravitate toward those kind of things. People love the positivity, the good vibe energy from that. So, I mean, I feel like that has a lot to do with what would attract people who would be emotionally invested in the channel and the family and want to see more and want to keep up with it whenever you upload. So, that would be my thought. Yes, authentic content is great. Would be evergreen content too. I agree with this. I agree that would be evergreen content. I think that that also would play a role in the views coming in over and over. And so, yeah, I dig the vibe. Yep, it is heartwarming. Katie says, "Yeah, I'm glad you opened it up and did at least the last two in the list for the passion alone." Yeah, I think so. I'm glad for that too. Got Tom Nash in the house. Roberto's advice is legit. Listen to the dude. Thank you, Tom. I super appreciate that, man. You too, man. Congratulations, by the way, on the Planeteer stuff with your channel and the Planeteer stock making you so much money. I remember when people were giving you such a hard time, Tom, and I don't mind saying this to the chat. It's just us here, like, there were so many people making videos hating on Tom Nash, calling him a grifter, calling him a fake financial guru, all because he recommended this stock, Planeteer, and they said he was losing retail investors money. That thing has gone to the bloody moon beyond even what he said it would, and everyone's eating crow, and no one, to my knowledge, has made a video apologizing to Tom. No one has made a video saying, "I retract my statement. I was wrong. I jumped the gun." And Tom didn't lose anybody money. If anything, I made them lose money if I made them panic sell, is what people should have said if they dunked on Tom. So the thing is, Tom didn't even lose anybody money. If anything, the guru slayers who went after Tom are the ones who lost retail investors money by making them panic sell. So that's the irony. That's the sweet, delicious irony, is that they did the thing that they set out to so-called prevent. You're supposed to destroy this Sith, not join them. Like, they became the thing they hate. Um, and that's the irony. So shout out to Tom. I just love you, brother. I love what you've been doing. I'm so happy that you're doing well. But also, man, I love watching you live your best life as the revenge on your haters and detractors. It is a joy to me in the darkest, pettiest way. In the dark, petty part of my heart, that I love that for you. So yeah, Petty Roberto. Petty Roberto is in the house, you know. Um, so yeah. But yeah, Tom Nash does investing stuff on YouTube. You guys should definitely check him out. Highly recommend. He's been a great friend and supporter in the community, great content creator. And I really appreciate him. I feel like he's a stand-up guy. But I'm glad we got to do the channel reviews tonight. I actually really like the crop of reviews that we got. I liked the variety of reviews that we got, and I think there were a lot of great teachable moments. I think that if I had a favorite, I'm biased here. I enjoyed reviewing Ask Papa's channel. I think the most teachable moments probably came from I want to say the most teachable moments probably came to some degree from everything that Nate the lawyer does well. I think that there were solid teachable moments um, in both Jermaine and Loli's content, had a lot of really good teachable moments. I feel like the most impressive small channel we reviewed tonight was definitely David from Living in Omaha early on. I think that the channels with the most potential that we reviewed tonight, I think every channel we reviewed tonight has tremendous potential, interestingly enough. And I don't say that often, but we just got a really solid crop tonight. I think that what Chad on the road is doing is interesting, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity there. I also think it'd be a lot of effort though, to do those because there's so much prep and planning for his content type. But I think there's a lot of potential. I think that Loli has a lot, Lolly D Creations. I think that the DIY niche, because of how evergreen it is, she has a lot of potential as well, since the main thing is just the packaging over there. I think that it's possible that investing with Matt and in terms of raw view potential, investing with Matt and interestingly Jay Red might have some of the most potential. Using Nate the lawyer and using even Anton Daniels as examples, Jay Red has a lot of potential because of what commentary is. I think that the same is true for Ignata Live, because commentary and things that lend themselves to brute force, raw view value, those channels have a lot of potential. Money making potential obviously is investing with Matt. The money making potential is investing with Matt. Um, Potential for viral breakout, Eric Ember, because Pokemon is popping so much, and if he just gets his packaging right, we see the potential there, since he already has a 3K view video with much less than 3K subscribers, I think. Eric Ember has a lot of potential as well. So, you know, there's so much that I think could be benefited from the teachable moments. If we just analyze the teachable moments and nuggets from tonight's reviews, I think that any creator watching right now could improve their content significantly. I think that our running, list of the 5 fonts, like I really have like a video I need to make about 15 fonts for YouTube thumbnails, but the reality is that those 5 are like the safety fonts that just make anything and everything potentially better. Those safety fonts really do it and get the job done, and will make it a lot easier for most of you when it comes to what you're trying to accomplish with your channels. So that's something that I think, if you guys could nail that, there's some things I think I could teach you guys about the posing and photography if when we get a chance to do another workshop. I believe when we get a chance to do another workshop Wednesday, the photography and thumbnail system thing I think will be important. So what I'll probably do is on a workshop Wednesday, I just don't know when the next one will be, but when we can, I'll just kind of run you guys a bit more through my thumbnail systems. Um because when I do, it'll all make a lot more sense. And I think I can give you guys something resembling a very quick example. Let me share screen here. This isn't going to be, we're not going to do like a full-on tutorial here or anything. But I can give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek behind the scenes of my thumbnail systems. You guys have seen some of these thumbnails before, by the way, on the channel itself. But I keep Photoshop files where I have these things set up where I have my text lockups, my icon lockups. Sometimes I'll make a unique thumbnail. Sometimes I did the A/B testing, like for the faceless channels ones, it was obviously these two were A/B tested against each other. Sometimes the A/B tests are more dramatic and sometimes they're not. Obviously, this was tonight's thumbnail. Tonight's thumbnail used a brand new photo of me that if you've been following me over an X, uh, then you are familiar with this photo from my recent photo shoot. So I recently did a photo shoot and I have an absurd amount of photos that I did for that photo shoot recently that allows me to create thumbnails like this. So, um, in fact, I think I can share this folder if I do a screen share. So to give you guys an example of how absurd my approach to um, building thumbnail systems actually is, I just want you to kind of see at the scope of how many photos and poses we did for my thumbnails. And like it's not scattershot either. Like we like this is how we did. No, this isn't pre-recorded. This is live right now. Um, but this is how we end up approaching my thumbnails because what is like and then this is where my brother like accidentally slipped with the camera. But like what we do is I use different poses, different facial expressions, and different props, and we shoot these and we shoot them back to back bracketed. Um, and we do a bunch of them. So you can see even with this thing holding the button that these are unique individual poses per shot for the most part. And so we literally with that we'll have dozens of them. And then I did 2 wardrobe changes. We normally would do 3 or 4 wardrobe changes. I just was tired that day. We'll probably do more this weekend. But as you can see, this is a different outfit than the one I'm using in my current thumbnail right now. Because then we did the ones with the play button award, my play button award, the big one, and then we switched outfits to the black long sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up at the elbows. So we switched from the merch. We switched from my merch with the creator hat and the creator t-shirt. We switched from that. And you can see where we use that in thumbnails sometimes. And then we switch to this. And this is a photo shoot from just this past week. And so you're going to see a lot of these show up. So to be able to do the advanced thumbnails, we do these staged photo shoots. And you can see we're not messing around with how many photos, how many poses we actually do for this. And the thing is, we did stuff with props. We did stuff with different poses. We even have another set of props here where I used my camera as a combination with the play button award. And then we had the ones that are the physical poses that involve pointing and even physical comedy and things like looks of avoidance or disgust where like I might be pushing something away. We did a couple of tall ones in case I ever need them for anything. And then we did some of the facial expression ones because I might need them. And we used the full range. We used surprise, frustration, anger, disgust, stoicism, thoughtfulness. We used like the full emotional range. We used like there's some angry face. Here's some like different expressions. Here's you know. So we did a variety that we can use. And so we have them and we can make anything that we could possibly need to using this variety. And we just shot all of these in like one day. Took about maybe 90 minutes, 2 outfits, 90 minutes. 2 outfits, multiple scenes, multiple poses, and again, different props for a lot of things as well. We did this one for like secrets. We did various versions of it. Um, so again, this gives us the preparation, and I can make endless thumbnails, endless marketing material, endless memes, endless promo material, things to make graphics for the community tab. There's any number of things, and so we did the variety. Look at these for things to avoid. YouTube mistakes. These are like things for YouTube mistakes, thumbnails, or things to avoid, um, things like that. So we physical comedy is very important to have as an option for your thumbnails. So we did a variety of them, and then I get to pick which ones actually I like, what works, what doesn't. And we, we can see what we like there. This is something that also is worth shooting again if I don't like how it looked, or I don't like the expressions, or I feel like I want to try the pose out more to get it right. But we also did a variety of them, and I did multiple takes with them in case um even just slightly changing my vibe in any way might have affected the shots. So we did repeats of things. We cycled through them again. It's like, oh, let me try this again. Or, oh, I looked and checked with my brother and I didn't like the expression or the pose or the body language. And so we do something again. So for a lot of you, this is a good teachable moment as well, just to see how the prep is done. We'll cover this more in like a Wednesday workshop. So make sure you guys have notifications on and you make sure you follow me on X. But the doing these gives us so many options. Remember, this is one shoot and we plan to do more, but this gives me so many options from this one shoot to incorporate and take into Photoshop and be able to make anything I might want or need to make when it comes to my potential thumbnails. So these photo shoots just give me stronger options. And then we shoot against a white background. I got something that's comparable to my Elgato green screen. Here's another prop. Here's the pencil prop. And so I had to figure out how to get it to be to come out and come across the way that I want it to. We also had to figure out what angle we could use to not have glare on my glasses while having it properly lit. So we had to do a lot of trial and error for the pencil prop one to work. And we got a couple of shots that ended up being usable out of all of these. We got, again, that most of them I didn't like, and I felt most of them were too awkward and I didn't like them. But there were a couple of good ones like this one that actually came out closer to what I want. Like these last couple of ones came out much closer to what I would want. And you might see them show up in future videos. So this one was very close. Probably usable. This one, as a close-up is usable, and we kinda like how that looks. So we were able to get, some really good stuff with these, and, they turned out really well. Um, this one, not that one because of the downward slant. That one, even with the glare, is usable. So, we got some good stuff there that we want, and like I said, I'm a Photoshop guy. So yeah, but yep. So this is just an inside sneak peek at something for a Wednesday workshop. That's a little bit of inside baseball in terms of a taste of things to come and the approach that we use to the thumbnails here on the channel and how we get those things done. And so now you see a little bit more of the process because you guys saw that, like, oh, I use a system in Photoshop where I have my assets, I have my graphics, I have my fonts, I have my layouts, I have my backgrounds, I have everything all set up exactly as I need it. And then I can just take one of these photos, I drop one of these photos in there, I remove the background. Some of you could just have Apple. If you use Apple, it can remove the background about as good as Photoshop, and then you can just drop it into that Canva. For some of you is the for some of you, Canva is the right answer. But you do that, you put in your background, you have your text lockup if you have your template system in place. Oh, here's my text on the left, here's my text on the right, here's a top, here's a bottom, and then here is this photo, here's my background. Oh, got it. So there's a lot that can be done. There's a lot that can be accomplished with this. Yep. So we'll do a workshop Wednesday. I don't know if it'll be next Wednesday, but we'll do a workshop Wednesday, and we'll cover things like the fonts that we talked about. They're bold fonts: Poppins Bold, Oswald Bold, Babus New, Futura, Open Sans. These are safe fonts for you to use. Almost all of them are free open source fonts, and so I think that it's really solid. And then if you combine that with, you guys stage your photography a little bit, put a little bit effort into the photography. With the photography, lighting and composition, most important things, few technicals to learn. And then if you can get through basic Photoshop, I've done some tutorials. We've done thumbnail tutorials on the channel before. So, now that you see a little bit of my system, my process, how I do it, it can really help you to just level up your packaging for the channel on the thumbnail side, because now you see what that looks like and what the behind the scenes process is. Like a lot of YouTubers, you're not gonna get to see that. Yeah, most YouTubers don't show, nor do they tell. Yeah. So like, this is where you get all the secret sauce. This is where you get the breakdown. With the channel reviews, you can see my ability to analyze other channels, find helpful nuggets, things, suggestions to improve. Even channels that are already successful, like our friend Nate the Lawyer, there are opportunities that could exist for those channels to go further beyond. There are opportunities for all of you who are smaller to say, hey, with these small tweaks, you could 10x. A lot of it's going to be the packaging. Now you know exactly when I say the packaging, we now know exactly what I mean. We know exactly how to improve it. Yeah, you can use Adobe Express or Canva. It's about your preference. Adobe Express is fine. And the good news is if you find Photoshop templates, they can be opened up, or if you buy Photoshop templates like the YouTube Starter Kit, they can be opened up in Photoshop Express and edited. So that's helpful as well. So that's good. But yeah, Photoshop Express, sorry, not Photoshop Express, Adobe Express. Adobe Express is great. And then Adobe Express also has Adobe Firefly for generating AI backgrounds or things like that. So yeah, for Lowly D Creations, I think that Adobe Express is great. I think that's fine. There's some people they use Canva, but Adobe Express is great, very comparable. To Canva, yeah, 1,800 photos in one setting, yeah. And you noticed that they weren't just like complete, like, oh, it's the same pose every thumbnail. It's like, no, there were variations and it was different and stuff like that. And I had to teach my brother the photography and I had to set up the lighting. So there's a little bit that's involved in it. But again, you can set yourself up with months and months and months of YouTube thumbnails with just doing a 1 day photo shoot session for 2 hours. And so that's how we like to do it. I try to film 3 videos back to back to give myself videos to edit. So I batch the photo shoots for the thumbnails, I batch the recordings for the videos, and then I got to sit down and edit something, and I got to sit down and put something together in Photoshop, and then that's my process. Obviously, the faster thing to do is just fire up a live stream, but it is what it is. But the amount of time that I spend doing a live stream like this, that's about roughly the time it would take me to edit 1 to 2 videos, depending on how long they are. So a 3-hour live stream for me is the equivalent of, well, I could have also just edited a video that's about 20 minutes. I could just edit a 20-minute video or a 30-minute video in those 3 hours. I'm extremely fast and efficient at editing. I have a fast computer. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I have fast systems. Most people, and the thing is, you guys have seen my videos, so they're not low lift videos, they're not low effort videos. Some of them are green screen videos, even. So you guys can see that, it's not that I'm turning around these videos in 2 to 3 hours because they're low quality or low lift. The audio is good, the video is good, the lighting is good, and the editing is good as well. You guys see it. I don't go crazy on special effects, but if I do green screen, I do okay with that. But the information is the most important thing. So as you can see, I don't need to with that. The production value is consistent. And then you guys see, even for the live streams, that I went out of my way to make the production value of the live streams equivalent to the production value of a really, really good YouTube video. I even got the Elgato prompter so I can make eye contact with the camera. So it's like a regular YouTube video. And then, of course, we have the ATEM mini switcher to have a secondary camera angle with built-in fade for that. StreamYard is getting better and better to the point to where we might get more visual stuff to be able to have happen on screen as well, to where going live for me, the quality is no different for a lot of you than if you were watching an edited YouTube video at this point. So, I mean, heck, we even got sound effects. So, that's a little bit behind the scenes. Speaking of behind the scenes, at some point I am going to do a video tour this year of my streaming setup because it is pretty elaborate. We have the uh, Elgato prompter, but I mostly use it just as a mirrored way to make sure I'm making eye contact with you guys, or when I'm doing one of my coaching calls for Awesome Creator Academy, I do it this way. So when I'm doing all my coaching calls, all my Zoom calls, all my group calls, this is how I do it. So I can make eye contact now. So it's easier. I have a dedicated monitor just for when I have things up on the screen to share, whether it's a presentation or it is a YouTube channel that we're reviewing. I have my widescreen monitor here so that I can have the group chat with the mods. I can have our channel tracker in terms of our spreadsheet. I have my command center for the streaming. I have the analytics. Then over here for camera B, I have a tiny portable monitor that literally has nothing but the chat so that I can see Sench FF, Katie Ukulele, Sarah Dawn. I can see everybody in the chat, and I can kind of go back and forth between, oh, I'm looking at the chat, making eye contact with the camera, looking at chat, making eye contact with the camera. So it's just a better experience for you guys in the live stream. It's also easier for me to read the chat if like the monitor's literally right here an arm's length in front of me where I can just lean in, and it's like, oh, it's a good experience on camera. I'm just glancing down. So yeah, so I can see like where Scottrell Style says 1,800 photos in one setting. Yep. So it's things like that. So again, makes it easier for me to read the chat, makes it easier for me to interact with all of you. And then I'm able to move over to camera A. So I'm going to film a behind the scenes of this whole setup. Oh, I also have a cool Elgato pedal down here. So if I literally, with my foot, just do this, it turns off the lights, turns them on, turns them off. I have like all the gadgets, my friends, all the gadgets. So, I love showing you guys the behind the scenes. I love for you guys to understand the magic that makes YouTube look easier than it actually is for us creators that have figured out how to make it a full-time living. There's some stuff that if you knew how we did it, you could do some of it too. Yes, there's talent involved. Yes, there's opportunity. There's a such thing as timing, but also you don't know what you don't know. And you especially don't know it if nobody bothers to tell you. And so, that's kind of how it is. But Yeah, I loved having the stream with you tonight. Guys, it's midnight. I'm out of here. I'm heading right to bed after this. So I'm rolling out. See if I make it all the way to the shower. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I enjoyed having some time with all of you. Thank you again to all of our wonderful mods. Thank you to uh, Doug Hewson, Clover Tack, Katie Ukulele, Chantel Hills, um, Larry from Home Rapid Repair, and all of the rest. Thank you. Thank you. We will see you probably for another channel review next week, which will be Valentine's Day, so you'll be spending it with me. If you don't have anywhere to be, you'll be spending it with me. We'll probably do it earlier in the evening next week, and then I probably will head out. Me and my siblings will probably go to a local place that evening and have some fun. So we'll probably do that. So we'll probably try to do it earlier in Friday. We'll probably try to do it earlier on Friday and wrap up before 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Then me and my siblings will head out for the evening. So you get to spend some time with me. We might be doing a workshop Wednesday this week. Won't swear to it, but we'll try. We're also going to start trying to go back, timestamp the channel reviews if we can. I'll figure it out. We might work something out with the mods. Might figure out who wants a Starbucks gift card, for that. And I'm going to run the streams through Opus Clip, and then on the highlights channel, we're going to have the individual channel reviews. That's where being able to recap the reviews at the end of a video, at the individual channel review video, and then also asking what people think and to let me know. And then also the eye contact stuff, the improvement quality. We're going to do so many wonderful things with the main channel, the podcast, the highlights channel. We're going to be doing a lot of upgrades. And I think it's definitely worth it. I think it's worth it to give you guys the best experience we can, the best content possible, and help you guys understand how you can level up as a content creator. Anyway, like I said, calling it a night. That's it. We will see you next time. Stay awesome. We're going to end the stream, and our outro will be some info on Awesome Creator Academy if you ever want to work with me. Also, you can check out something that we do have that could help you guys, especially those of you struggling with your titles. Check out, we have a $9 offer for our AI creator prompts. Get AI creator prompts for $9. These are ChatGPT prompts. There are over 200 ChatGPT prompts here. It's $9. Some of this will help you guys out with your productivity, your titles, a lot of other things. So it's $9, 200 prompts for ChatGPT. Check it out. It's a way to say thank you if you enjoyed the content. But you're not obligated to buy anything if you don't want to. At the checkout, I think we even have 5 free prompts at checkout that you can see right then and there that you can use. So that's my gift to you. Stay awesome. I will catch you guys on the next one.
Becoming a content creator can be a very lonely process and adventure, but it doesn't have to be. When I first got started going from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, I had to do it all by myself. I didn't have a community of like-minded and like-hearted creators to talk to or to ask for advice, and I certainly didn't have a mentor to guide me along the way. I built the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group because when I was getting started, what would have meant the world to me is not to have to struggle alone when it comes to being a full-time content creator. If I had had a community of creators that I could talk to and share information with, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes in my early career, and there would have been opportunities with brand deals where I would have gotten a better understanding of how to negotiate, and I wouldn't have undersold myself. I wouldn't have been taken advantage of in those early situations. So in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group, myself and our co-instructor Andy Rivera, we meet twice a week for office hours with our creators, and we share information, we talk about how we're building our creator businesses, and we offer constructive criticism and critique on the things that we're working on for our projects. You'll be part of a community of usually around 100 like-minded creators who are taking this seriously just like you are. You'll also have all access as a pro group member to all of our past, present, and future courses, training, templates, digital downloads, and swipe files. You have full access to our creator blueprints where you'll see our systems and the frameworks that we use to execute. You always fall or rise to the standard of your systems. A lot of people really underestimate how important that is. We have digital download templates that can help you so you don't have to start with a blank canvas. These done for you files are actually incredibly helpful, especially for things like your thumbnails, your media kits, and anything you need for your branding as a content creator to look professional. We have email swipe files that help you with reaching out to brands. We have great information in helping you price yourself and build your packages appropriately. And remember, as part of the pro group, you have the opportunity to ask questions from myself and all the other creators participating. And so this means that if you need to ask questions about a negotiation or a brand deal, there's something you're not sure about, you're trying to find a better monetization opportunity with merch or affiliates, you have people who have done it before, who are already making money, that you can reach out to for advice. As I said, when I was starting out and I was flying solo, this is the thing that I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a part of, and it would have made all the difference in the world in helping me be an even more successful content creator. If you have questions, you can always reach out via support. We're happy to help you figure out if the pro group is right for you. Also, we do have the opportunity if you become a VIP member, if you also would like quarterly one-on-one coaching with me directly. Now go out there and create something awesome today, and hopefully we'll see you in the pro group. Take care.